Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of the Knitting a Good Yarn podcast.
My name is Jackie.
I'm Carmen.
And we're coming to you from Southern Ontario with the nitty, chatty, lots of FO, lots of whip.
I know.
Podcast.
Today, Jackie always has a million FOs, so I don't even know how many. We only ever talk about mine beforehand, like, because she asks. Because I think sometimes you probably even have FOs that you don't even show sometimes because we run out of time. Anyway, but I have a lot.
You have a lot. It's so exciting. So exciting.
And a whip. So that'll be fun. Yeah, so you get, do the YouTube thing, get your drink, you're like, whatever you want to drink. We go on for often 3+ hours. Stop it, start it. We've got chapters. We've got show notes, everything that you need to know. I tried to be prepared today more than normal, so.
You're so prepared today. It's so exciting. Look at all the notes. I have no notes today.
Yes.
In any case, if it's your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, this is our official pre-Rhinebeck episode.
Yes.
So I think last year, we filmed right before we left or something like that.
Yes, I had just finished that.
Yeah. Whereas I think the way that our schedules worked out, my schedule worked out is that we're not going to be able to film before Rhinebeck. So let the Rhinebeck autumn knit vibes begin.
Absolutely. Although I don't even have my Rhinebeck stuff. My whip. My whip is my Rhinebeck. I'm not even sure if I'm going to get it done.
You're going to get it done.
Or I'm going to get it done. But I don't know
if you're gonna get done before Rhinebeck. We were texting yesterday and we were like, there's a strong possibility that we're gonna show up to Rhinebeck half done. With our Rhinebeck sweaters,
yes.
Yes. Mystic Sans one sleeve.
And I've done it again with another bottom up. Do this stuff. You should know myself better.
Well, so I feel
a bottom up and a very, very slow knit. I've done it twice in a row. I don't want to make this my tradition for Rhinebeck. I do not. Please, no.
The Rhinebeck hustle. I feel like I'm also going to be in the Rhinebeck hustle, but it's why do we do this to ourselves? I'm literally about to do this to myself. I think.
Yeah.
Start a Rhinebeck hustle, but.
Hard ones with the hard ones. Pretty. I know. These are the things. I was okay. I shouldn't even talk about this now because we're going to get there. But I do think there are some knits. Okay. This is how we roll.
We are a one-shot podcast, which means that we don't have a plan. This is part of the reason why we're so chatty. We have puppies here.
Yes.
And so we're glad that you're here for the ride if you're into unplanned chaos.
That's right. And just a lot of enthusiasm for knitting and fiber.
Oh my God, it's so hot already.
I know. I actually, in some ways, I'm like, should I? Because the sooner.
What do you want to start with? Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Let's start with
the
FO.
We didn't even introduce any of this
the last
one.
No.
I did say, though, that I started my knitting journey very early into it with test knitting. Knitting has my heart for quite a number of reasons. You get to know the designer that you're doing. You get to knit the pattern first. You want the pattern so badly. There's a deadline for it, so it actually makes sure that you finish it. Although that can also it makes me laugh sometimes because there have been times where I've been on a test knit and I'll be with a non-knitting friend and I'm desperately knitting and I'm I'm sorry, we're talking, I'm listening to you, but I have to knit because I've got this deadline. And they'll be like, isn't knitting supposed to be a relaxing hobby? And I'm like, I've successfully turned it into something stressful. Sorry.
It's not so much stressful. It's just that I don't think you and I know how to do things halfway at a measured pace, in moderation. We're just both feet and all fingers in kind of
we really are
humans.
Yeah.
So whether it's knitting or the various hobbies that we have, it's I can't be chill about it.
No. Case in point, I had taken a bit of a break from
it had been a
knitting.
while.
I think it had been at least a few months.
More than that,
More than that, maybe. So then I jumped right into test knitting. I broke the seal. I think which one was? Oh no, it was a different one that I still can't tell you about
Super
that one
secret.
the super secret one. Can't tell about it yet, but I broke the seal on that, and then it was something like there were just test knits all over, and I'm like, I need it, and so I had 4 test knits.
Wild.
I know.
And
I'm very happy.
oh my god.
I'm not done one of them, but I've done all the other ones. So this, okay.
So
this is
cute.
called the Totally Tubular Turtle Tank by Park and Knit, Park Williams.
Oh my god.
I've put a tank top underneath this because I'm going to take this off because Jackie's going to try it on. But usually I don't even put a tank top on. This I wear constantly.
If you follow Carmen on Instagram, this came out. Like, you posted about it, and I gasped because it's such... Like, I feel like these are the knits that when you, like, it's so perfectly tailored. Like, there are all these little details that, especially, like, in the black,
yes,
I feel like you can't really see.
Yes.
But make a huge difference
fit-wise,
and, like, just creates, like, this, like, the finish. You know, because I like, you know, one might think, or I was like, oh, it's another like sleeveless sort of turtleneck kind of thing. And there are so many out there, but to sit like next to you and to see it beyond sort of the Instagram post, there are so many like gorgeous details that I can appreciate that create a perfect fit.
It really, and I honestly,
Perfect.
It's so beautiful.
It's just so perfect.
And what's so funny is that I actually reduced it by 1 inch. It should be 1 inch longer, so half an inch more. And I at the beginning when I first put it on before it relaxed, I was like, yeah, that was a good move. But now I'm like, I should have actually just done exactly what she said, because it would be even like, I think just do the original one. It'll be like slightly higher, but it's just like slightly. But it has this like split hem.
Love it.
A little bit of, well, actually it's quite a lot of rib if you think like it's that size. Rib in the bottom. I do apologize for the color. You can't see it quite as well, but I don't apologize for the color in terms of its like ability to be worn.
So everywhere. I came in to Carmen's house and I gave her a hug and I was just like, I don't want to let go. Like, what is this? What is this? Tell us about the yarn.
I will tell you. Okay, so, and I use the yarn that she knitted in. And we are very much into, you know, small scale wool producers and like businesses and
farm yarn
and all this. And I love that. I love it. And, you know, that's always got a place in my heart. But this one is actually Knit Picks, Wonderfluff.
Wonderfluff.
And so it's alpaca. I should have looked it up. Alpaca, a little bit of acrylic, and I think a bit of wool.
Here, I'll look at it. Keep talking.
It is literally like so soft. I think it's
really,
bulky weight, which of course that also means this knits up so fast.
14 stitches. I read 14
stitch gauge. I even ended up with a 13 and a half. So it's like, whoa!
Oh, 70% baby alpaca, 7% merino wool, 23% nylon, and it's bulky weight, or 142 yards per 50 grams.
Yes. Which I was surprised at. 142 for 50 grams is 284, which I would have put as like a
generous.
DK, but it's not. I guess that's where you have all of that.
The floof.
Grist or whatever? Is it grist?
I don't know. Yes, grist. And because it's like one of those tube yarns, right? Where the like nylon, blown yarn, that's what it is.
I think so. Oh, and you know what? It's $9.99.
Amazing.
You know, Canadian. So it's probably cheaper. Well, obviously it's cheaper in the US. And then they just had a sale. Unfortunately, it was like on their Halloween colors. But Halloween colors are like black and gray and all of these things. So I actually got some more because I want to make. Park Williams has a totally tubular turtle.
Yeah, like with sleeves. That's the one that I know and love.
She made it in like a hot pink, which I love. Anyway, I want to make that because it's just a really lovely sweater to wear.
How's it been doing in terms of temperature?
Well, everything has been fine. Right now, I'm hot, as usual. I'm very ready to give this to you to try on. But in general, like I wear this to work all the time, and it's just been great.
Yeah,
it's been great. It is warm, like, you know, because you have a turtleneck.
Yeah, big fluffy turtle.
But I just, you know, you can dress it down, you can dress it up. I love it. And this colorway is called Welly's Heather.
It's really cute. It's such a nice black.
Yeah.
It's such a nice black. And I think there's something to be said. I think both you and I really love like a black.
Yes.
And sheep don't come in that color.
They don't. And actually, this is great. So I've ordered they even have a
they have a
black. This is like,
this is the heathered black.
This is the Wellies. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the rain boots.
The rain boot black.
Yeah. Rain boot.
What I appreciate about, so I love black. What I don't love about knitting in black is not being able to see, but at like a 14 stitch gauge, like airy. Oh my God, I would love this as a full sweater.
I'm totally making it. And this took, so I knit size 2, and it took just under 3 skeins.
That's amazing.
Where was it? Look it, I have, oh, I didn't write it down.
We'll get it in the show notes.
I think it was something like 2.8.
Yeah, they're
2.8
skeins.
2.8 skeins.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's do this.
Gotta do it. Yeah, just super easy, lovely, and very adaptable, right? Like, so you know, I'm probably gonna make it. I have a longer torso. Oh yeah, I put a little what's it called? Stitch marker. I have a longer torso, so I know.
Light and floofy.
I'm gonna make it again, and I think I'll make it a little longer before doing the side split. Oh God, Jackie. Right? Like, right? What is it about a sleeveless turtleneck? Like, I just think there's something so classy about it.
What I love about this one in particular is kind of like, you and I have talked about like the racer back-ish.
Yes.
Yes. It's so stunning. So beautiful. Do you feel like that when I knit this, do you think I need to shorten the turtleneck?
Might be good. Yeah.
So, never know. Okay.
Oh.
Guys, I'm just gonna be here.
Well,
touching myself.
It is, you know, it really is soft. My son is quite particular with my wools, and like if it's a scratchy sweater, he'll be like, I don't want to, you know, especially when I used to like lie down with him to put him to bed.
Yeah.
He's too old for that now, but even just holding, like hugging. So anyway, when I first made this one, I like hugged him, and he's like, oh, what's this?
Well, that's what happened when I came and I hugged you. I mean, I was just like,
it's amazing.
So cute.
So yeah, so that is one of those projects where it's like you just want it. I can't remember, I should have written down how long it took, but I'm pretty sure it was like a couple days.
Instant gratification project needed.
Absolutely.
I need an instant gratification project in my life right now, except the Rhinebeck rule. So,
Rhinebeck what?
Except I'm in like the Rhinebeck corridor of like, I want to knit all the things and I want to wear all of them, even though it's like 3 days.
Yeah. I know.
Like outfit changes.
And it's not even 3 days. It's actually only 2 at Rhinebeck. And then there's the Woolen Affair that we're going to go to. But, okay, so now this is rubbing up. Talk about soft. This is rubbing up against me, and it's making me think of that shawl. Maybe that's why. Because I'm like, oh, God.
Okay, so.
Oh. This is so good.
Hang on. Should I show it? Should I do the story?
Show it first.
So this is the Paulie cardigan by Amy Christoffers.
Oh.
I made a bunch of modifications, which I'll talk about in a second, but I wanted to like tell the story about it because you are a genius. So way like a couple episodes back, I showed this shawl. We had and again, we're gonna do this thing where we're like, oh God, it feels so good.
Not even. I'm like, it's not even made up. It's so good.
I have not, like, I don't think there is a day that goes by that this is not on my body at some point.
That's the way
it just feels so lovely. So this is, I'll link the episode in the show notes. But this was the diatom shawl knit in mohair, Sonder Yarn Co Halo mohair, double stranded in Dirty Weekend, and hand spun Haunui that was processed by Lindsey of Artefacts of Appreciation. And like the sensory pleasure of this was so extreme that I was like, I need a garment in this. So, this is the Paulie cardigan.
It is gorgeous.
Which I knit in the same yarn combination mostly. So the like body, so with the exception of like the hems and the button band, I knit it in Sonder Yarn Co Halo in the colorway Catnap, double stranded, with my Handspun that was the same Haunui blend from Lindsey of Artefacts of Appreciation. And I'm really happy with how it feels. So I don't think I've ever knit a mohair garment, like a fully mohair garment. Have you knit a fully mohair garment?
Yes.
So I've never done like a whole garment just out of mohair. So I wasn't really sure how to treat the edges. Like folks knit all mohair garments all the time, but because it was like mosaic knitting, and when I was like pre-blocking, I was like, I don't know how strong the fabric is going to be. So for the button band, for the like the ribbing sections, I did one strand of Sonder yarn, Sunday morning 4-ply, so fingering in mohair, just to make sure that I had
because I was gonna say that looks denser. It's beautiful
to have that density, because like some like way back, I think the first sweater that I knit out of like drops air, it was here that started to like fray out, and then also like along the collar. So I wanted to, it probably would have been okay, but I think for me, I just like felt better about it. Plus I feel like my ribbing looks better in like a fingering, a little heavier mohair.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Is it double knit or no? The button band?
No, it's not. So let me tell you a little bit about the pattern. For those of you who don't know, this is my submission for the Young Folk Knits Mosaic Mayhem knit along. So this is a knit bottom up. It has a raglan construction, and it's mosaic knitting. So you are knitting and purling and slipping stitches. And you're only ever carrying sort of one color at a time, which I love the fabric that mosaic knitting makes. This is, so the modifications that I made, actually I should probably show the actual sample. So we have talked a lot on this podcast about the Pressed Flowers series and how much we love the Pressed Flowers series.
I was just wearing it again. It's Savory. Go to Savory Knitting.
Oh, thank you. There we go. And so when this was being teased and when it came out, I was like, oh, this is another opportunity for me to do Amy Christoffer's cardigan, because the way that she fits, like there's something about the way that she constructs it that it like fits super well, like it doesn't fall off your shoulders. And I was really enamored with this button band, and also the raglan.
Because there's two options that she gives for the button band, right?
Yes.
Like with buttons and without.
Yes, right? Maybe. I actually don't know. I should probably. Okay, so
one has like a ribbing. Why doesn't my internet like you? There we go.
So there's the samples.
Yes. So one has the buttons, and then one is meant to be open.
And one is meant to be open.
Yeah. Cool.
Focus. Anyhow, it's like super stunning. And what I loved is like this collar. And I was like, it's the perfect pattern for me to try and recreate this like feeling in a cardigan.
And you also mentioned that you wanted a fall colored cardigan pressed flower like thing.
Yeah.
I feel like you successfully achieved
thank you. So the motif is like, you'll see on the arm is like these like quilt squares. But it was a funny thing when I looked at it, what it reminded me of was like origami birds.
Yes.
So I made some modifications to the motif. So I knit the sleeves. So you knit the sleeve, it's like bottom up, you knit both sleeves, then you cast on the body, then you sort of connect the body and the sleeves, and then you're working sort of back and forth. And then after you've done all of that, then you pick up the button band. So I made some adjustments to the charts that I like took out parts of the like quilt square,
Mm-hmm.
just because I wanted it to be more like origami bird like.
Yes.
In the pattern, in the pattern, there's also like the way that it's spaced is that there's like one quilt square in the center, and I doubled it.
Oh, good for you! Look at you changing it all.
Created like a little gap part just for interest. It wasn't supposed to look like that, but that's what ended up happening. So that's what ended up happening. But I'm super happy with it. It was interesting because I did actually fade. Like when I did the handspun, there was three different like colorways that I sort of like melded together, but when it's done,
low contrast,
it's like very subtle,
being impossible to see.
Yeah, another
like
impossible to see.
This one is
color.
No, this one is possible to see. Like you can see it all, even though it's more low contrast, unlike the other.
But yeah, so those are the modifications that I made. I read the project pages, and because mosaic knitting, at least for me, like it grows lengthwise, instead of casting on the cuff and then knitting the sleeve up, I actually did a provisional cast on. Did the sleeve, because I feel like sleeves, especially bottom up, I like don't know how they're gonna end up in terms of length, because
absolutely,
like
you don't know where it's
it doesn't like sit on your shoulders, right?
Yeah.
So I did a provisional cast on, then I knit the cuffs down, which another one of the testers did, which I'm really happy about. And then in the pattern, this collar is like my favorite thing in the entire world. I just feel like it creates such a nice finish.
How is it not okay? Because it would be giving away the pattern. I don't understand how this could be vertical.
Okay, so the way that in the pattern, I think it's okay that I share it. In the pattern, what she suggests that you do is you actually like knit this whole thing separately. And then
I'm like, you can't
and
do
then you
this.
sew it on.
So
I did not do that though.
What?
Yeah, so I'll create a project page for this one, / I'll include the link below. I'm knitting the book club cardigan by Sarah Nordlin, and someone in the project pages in Ravelry like linked a tutorial on YouTube on how you do this like vertical button band.
You are like a Ravelry review maven.
I love Ravelry project pages.
Everything that's happening in Ravelry in the project page realm.
So whenever I don't know if this is like, I mean, I feel like I've learned so much on Ravelry.
I think so
by
too.
Going into I'll go into a project, and then you can like, or you'll look at a pattern, and then I'll go into like a project, and then it used to be that like, I don't know what the default setting is in Ravelry, that like the order that the projects come up on.
Yeah.
But I set somehow at some point, maybe because I did it so many times, I set it to sort by most helpful.
I remember you saying that.
And so I read like the most helpful things, because I do think that like helpful tips are like so helpful, right? So it was like the second project page. There was the second project, I think, in the book club cardigan that did the tutorial, because I don't love seaming, and like I don't consider myself very good at sewing. I also feel like I've like absorbed from other YouTube knitting podcasts that this like vertical button band thing can be a bit like, I've not met somebody who's like, you know what was the funnest part of my knitting? Like the vertical like button band and seaming, right?
No.
And because I was so uncertain about like what the gauge was actually gonna be, and my edge is like 2 stitches mohair, 2 stitches handspun, I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna be able, like I'm not comfortable trying to sew this thing on.
You want to just continue.
Yeah.
Right.
So what I ended up doing is I picked up 1 row of stitches like around in the way that you would, if you were gonna do like a traditional button band,
that would go in this direction.
Yeah, you would like pick up all of the stitches like this, and then you'd like knit this way the ribbing.
Exactly. I'm gonna show one of those.
What I did is I picked up just 1 row of that, all knit stitches, and then what the tutorial showed you how to do was how to attach a double knit button band to that. So basically what you do is you're like knitting, you cast on like this section, and then you knit across, and the last stitch you
knit through the back loop.
Knit through the back loop with the stitch that you picked up, like.
Totally, but how is it not double then? That's what, like, because I understand the double knit, but did you not? It's
so
not
this
double
is
knit?
ribbing. It's literally ribbing. It's not double knit. It's just
but
like
did
knit
you
one,
slip
purl one.
You purled?
Yeah.
Just back and forth
Yeah.
flat.
Yeah.
This too. This part?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how
it just sense
I know
to
it doesn't
me.
make sense.
I think it must be double knit.
It's not double knit. Cause there's no slip stitches. I just
You're
knit
right.
and purl.
I love that I'm arguing with her, even though she knit it. And I'm like, wait a second.
I was very confused because when I looked at it, like I looked at it in the picture, I expected it was gonna be double knit, and so I was like gearing myself up to like do the double knit.
Because that would be a lot of double knitting. Like that's
I gotta tell
tiny.
you, I'm like, I'm a little bit like, because this is knits and pearls, right?
Yeah.
I'm like so reticent to finish my book club cardigan because I'm like, oh my god, like that one has a button band that's actually double knit, and I feel like
double knit.
I feel like it took me a week just to do like this part.
I did a double knit button band, and I wrote, that was the one I knit Kudavakika one.
Yeah,
that
the
darling cardigan. And I was like, this thing flew. I was done. I'm like 3 days, the whole body, blah blah blah. And then the button band, like a week.
Yeah. Or I think it's just like an illusion because like so much of it is done, right? Like I've done most of the body, but like it just takes forever.
Did you do it with double pointed needles?
I did it with like a short circular, so basically. But like what I will say is that if I like this treatment on a cardigan, I just feel like it's so polished. Like it's so funny in terms of like, you know, when you knit things, like when you love something that you knit, like what's the thing that you love the most? And when I look at this, it's not even like the mosaic knitting. It's not even like the little quilt thing. It's like the column, the button band is so good.
As it should be, because it was the most effort probably. But no, it is. It's perfect.
But I feel like it in my like future cardigan career, I feel like I want all of my cardigans to be finished like this.
I know. This is good.
So
keep this in mind because I have a cardigan I'm finishing.
Yeah, so I'll link the tutorial below. The tutorial shows you how to do a double knit band, so it goes through the knits and slips and etc. And I just I used the tutorial. I just used the tutorial to figure out how it is that you cast on here, like you do an Italian line, tubular cast on, and then a sewn bind off. Yeah. The tutorial shows you how to pick up along an edge and how to apply the button band along that edge so that you don't have a piece that you're like sewing.
Because you basically just, I mean, it is, that's exactly what you do. It's just instead of slipping, you purled it. Like instead of slipping the pearls, you purled it. Because usually you would do that and then you go back and you're slipping the pearls, which were the knits. But what did you do on the edge to keep this so lovely? Like, did you slip?
Sorry, thank you. I did slip. I did like a one stitch I-cord. So I
slip. You slipped the last stitch.
I slipped the last stitch on
side, on the right side.
So I would highly recommend this if you're worried about. The reason I did this was because I was worried about the possibility of applying a button band and like. They say you should swatch to figure out like, you know, like what's the ratio of
buttonholes in the
buttonholes or like how many rows of your button band versus how many rows of your body, which is different.
I'm gonna show this one too.
Blah blah blah.
This is so great.
I feel like this takes care of it because I was just really mindful of how I picked up. I just like picked up equally all along the edge.
Yes.
And then as you're applying it, you're seeing it. No.
Right. Just the same ratio.
The same ratio.
Cool.
And like I sort of had a gauge swatch here because the ribbing was the same that I could use to figure out like how many.
Yep.
Like what that ratio is.
Right.
But I'm so happy with it.
You need to be. It's a perfect cardigan.
Thank you.
It's so classy, and yet you can still wear it like if you're not, you know, ouch. I do this a lot. Yeah, you could wear that if you need to dress up, but you could also stick that with jeans and have it still look good.
That was the intention. I have like, one is like, I feel like I used to have this like suede jacket that was like close to this color that I like wore all that like taupey neutral. And then I also have this cowl that I knit like way back that is in a very similar color. And it was the one that I would pull on the most because it was like it didn't matter what jacket I was wearing.
Yes.
Like somehow this color
It always works.
Works.
It's like a purse, that color. You know you can wear it with everything.
I feel like Catnap is kind of the perfect, it's hard to describe. I wish you could see it in person as it's like one of those chameleon ones.
You know, chocolate milk, and there's like almost like a pinky undertone, but it's not.
It's like
not
pinky, but it's silvery.
It has that,
but it's neutral, but it's like, it's actually neutral. Like I feel like it doesn't lean cool or warm.
Yes,
it can do either.
It really could do. Yeah, agreed.
But I think part of the reason I sort of took out the quilt here was because I wanted it to maybe read like a little more modern, so that it wasn't like quilt squares, so that I could like wear it to work, even though there is one.
That's beautiful.
I do like how it turned out.
I'm
super happy.
I'm very, very, very jealous.
Would you like to try it on?
Yeah. And then I'm not going to take it up. I'm going to bake.
It's very hot though.
Yes.
I will tell you, I will admit that it's been off the needles for like, I don't know, 3 days. Carmen! Carmen!
Oh, yes. Yes.
I like how it's cropped on you.
Me too.
Like it grew longer than I intended it to be when I actually knit it. It's like the perfect, I feel like on you, it's the perfect bomber length.
It is.
If I could, this is the thing with bottom up hit is you're stuck with whatever length it is and there's no way I'm pulling that out.
No. Again, there's only one option.
To give it to you. Okay, gotcha.
And you do it again. Now that you have the sizing, you're so welcome. This is really nice. This is really nice.
Just go get something to eat because we're gonna be here making noises about this like fabric combination. This fabric combination, like
I can't believe I still haven't done it. Jackie was so nice and gave me a thing, and I just have not any time to spin. I have to spin.
Okay, so I should probably talk about yarn stats because I was blown away at how little yarn this took. Well, it wasn't like a tiny amount, but okay.
You shortened it though, right? Probably from the original? Did you mod the length?
If I did like by 2 inches, like not much. If you look at it, it's pretty cropped.
Okay.
It's meant to be cropped with like long arms, but I do have short arms, so. What I will say, hang on, let me pull up this does because I weighed it. So the whole thing is 264 grams. Like it's so lovely and light, but it's so warm because of the mohair. This took 117 grams of mohair.
Great. So 3
skeins
of
the Sonder, and then 40 grams of the four-ply. The fingering.
40 grams of the fingering, and then your hand spun was
I ended up, I think I spun like, I never measure my hand spun, but it was like a bat, so it was like woolen prepped, so I think it was quite like generous.
Yes.
However, I spun up 120 grams and I have tons left over. Like,
we could even weigh it if you have it. Well, it doesn't matter. Probably doesn't matter.
I have so much left over.
Well, you said this whole thing was 260.
That's right.
Right? And so then 40 plus, what did you say?
107 grams of hand spun.
So basically one.
Yeah, like one braid, but I do think you might like, you might be like, I would do a braid and a half because a braid is it's worsted prep. Whereas the woolen, I find when I'm spinning with a woolen prep or like a bat, I get more yardage.
Yes.
Like it's a grist thing with Haunui and silk, etc. But I also think it's like the amount of air, right? It's like a worsted spun yarn versus a woolen spun yarn. But I was shocked.
So beautiful.
Thank you. I wasn't sure. Like
beautiful.
This was my I was like, this is gonna be my Rhinebeck knit, and I finished it and I love it. But I'm like, it's such a neutral.
Oh,
like,
God,
I feel like it's such a...
This will be something, like, if I saw somebody walking around with this, I'd be like, hello, you don't know me, but please tell me what this is. And then I'd touch them, and then I wouldn't be able to stop, so...
The touching. So we'll be at Rhinebeck, and I will have this cardigan, and I'm going to wear it so that you can come up and hug me and touch me and make lots of delicious sounds.
Because she can't have both of them on.
But no, I cannot. But like, oh... So for all of the, like, we're going to talk a little bit, I don't know if you want to talk about yours next. We're going to talk a little bit again about like mosaic knitting and the like love, not love relationship that we have with mosaic knitting and in the sense of like how long it takes.
Yes.
But the
so
fabric,
fantastic.
the fabric and
I
the
know,
fabric
it
with
really is that
mohair
interest.
is like ridiculous.
Especially, you know, like it's not just the color. There's just so much dimension to it because it's underneath, right?
Yeah.
These little window panes, like something's happening in that little apartment building there.
And this one again, if you like knits more than pearls, this is a heavy knit one, and it's also lovely. More knits than pearls, and it's also lovely because it has breast rows, which makes you feel like, you know, in a mosaic knitting pattern where you're like, oh my god, I've been knitting for so long, but like my like row gauge is so I've only like knit like 1 inch. Throwback to the trials of the tessellated.
Fast forward to what I'm knitting right now,
and just like delicious fabric.
It really, I mean, it's indescribable. Like having this just on my arm, it's exactly what we said. Like when this was, I just wanted to drape it all around me, but this, I actually think I prefer this because I can feel it everywhere.
It's just everywhere.
It's just everywhere touching me. Like it's just like, and then whenever I want to just feel it on both sides, I'm like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, I think like I foresee more mosaic knitting in my future because I love mosaic knitting, and I think I'm gonna be on like a mohair mosaic knitting binge.
Yes,
because the feeling is just like indescribable. The fabric it makes is like, oh,
it's amazing. And just remind me, sorry, you said you went to 1 strand of mohair when you did
one strand of mohair and 1 strand of
edges.
fingering just to have that structure.
This is really amazing.
The way that button band, I just love the button band so much because it doesn't look ribbed. Oh, no. Here's the other thing that I'll say. I did not block. So I blocked it, like I wet blocked it, and then I did the button band, and then I just steam blocked the button band because I was like, it looks perfect.
It's perfect.
If I wet it, the row gauge might change, and then I might end up with ripples, and like I'm just gonna leave it. So I think that's probably why it sort of like comes together and is like a little bit more integrated. Like it just looks double knit as opposed to knit pearl. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, I wonder if you could sub a double knit button band for a knit pearl button band.
Yes, I think you could. Looking at what you've done here, I think you can. And I mean, in a way, is it any slower to do it knit pearl than the double knit? Probably not, because it's still the same deal. You still have to go back.
Right.
So it's probably equivalent.
Okay.
I would guess. You're just not. It's not as thick.
Really long time.
Exactly.
Like for all of the, I don't know if I just like forgot how long this took.
No. It doesn't. It's
like a psychological thing, right? Where you're like, the sweater's almost done, and then you're just like, I think it was like 4 days of dedicated knitting.
Exactly.
Just like,
you don't understand why, and you're like, but it's just 7 stitches or something. And you're like, how?
Yeah.
I mean, this is more than that. But.
So here's, I'm like, what I realized in the objects that I've been knitting, and like my knitting mojo, which actually like. I've knit much less than I normally would, which I think is reflective of A, I can't make decisions about what I want to knit, and also B, I've just been like traveling a lot, and I think when there's a lot of like beautiful new creative things that are happening like in life, there's like less.
It's covering that part for you. Mm-hmm.
But what I realize is when you all and the way that you encourage us and share beautiful things with us and send us patterns and all that, like this community has really expanded my knitting. But what I realize is like I love a fantasy knit.
Yes.
Like
vicarious knit.
Yes.
Someone else's.
Yes.
Yes.
Like I also love like I don't think of us as like a styling podcast, you know, like there are podcasts that are like, you know, like Casey from Young Folk Knit, she's like, I'm gonna like sew and knit a whole outfit.
Here's the whole outfit and here's where you can get it.
Yeah.
You're like, yes, Casey.
Wow, amazing.
Except Casey, could you make it for me? Because I can't sew. I can't do that part.
But I do like there's a category of my knitting which is not planned, where it's like I feel like this happens with Newton, it happens like with this like my whale shawl, it just like there's something that needs to come through and I don't plan it. But outside of that, because we've been like going to festivals and that kind of stuff, now I'm like constantly planning, like, what am I gonna wear to the thing? So like, it has led me, I feel like, to knit a lot more of these like showstopper pieces.
I see.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because I'm like, oh, I want to like have a like
that thing
amazing
that somebody
outfit.
looks at and goes, wow.
That, and also like it's also like the conversation piece kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. Like, you're going to be
a part
It's not
of.
just going to be a basic.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's an event, right? Like it's like, you know,
true.
I don't know. I don't like, my lifestyle is, I'm not like going to galas, right? Like, remember when you were like, I don't know, there was an age where there were like
weddings,
proms and weddings and like all those kinds of things.
Yes.
And so you have this opportunity to like
yes,
outfit.
Yes.
I
don't
feel
have
like,
any of those.
No.
No.
But I feel like
I'm in
like,
my like UGG years.
I'm in my cozy
I'm
years.
like, that's what I want to wear.
Right?
Yes.
But like, it's so fun because like we knew we were gonna be at Knit City and like that kind of stuff. I'm like imagining the like outfit for the like setting. Do you know what I mean?
I wish I did that.
Which creates, I feel like ends up creating like these really like fun, gorgeous garments that otherwise I'm not sure that I would like make the investment of making them. But now that they're in my wardrobe, I'm like, those are the things that I go to because they just feel like these like wearable, it feels like wearable art as opposed to maybe like a more functional approach to
so interesting
to knitting, because I think I've been knitting long enough that like I have a lot of the basics covered.
Yes.
Right? Like I need a turtleneck tank, but like, you know, like when it comes to like
basics,
you know, basics, like I'm pretty good.
You're covered. It's so funny as we like, so we're like the same person in this like funny way, and then sometimes we have like we're the same but we're like just at opposite things.
Ends, yeah.
So like I used to make a lot of like more like not crazy but like yeah, these kinds of like, whoa, that like what's that sweater? And like when I was pulling this out, and it's been for the last few episodes, like when I look at my stack, I'm like, they're just the neutrals. Like nothing's probably what I wear to, well, apart from one, what I wear to Rhinebeck may not have anybody stop me because it's going to be just a perfect like basic, maybe. I don't know.
Stop you anyhow. I remember. What did you wear? There was an outfit that was like all basic. That
could have been my pressed flower. Was it my Koyame? Yeah, it was my Koyame.
Yeah, it was a basic. And like we got stopped at the grocery store.
Yes.
And this girl was like, I love your outfit. She screamed it. I was
she
like,
was the teller. We were walking down the aisle.
Yeah. But like, that's what happens, I feel like, when a basic fits well, and also like you're owning the basic.
Yes,
like you feel good in it.
I love that sweater.
Gorgeous.
I mean, as we've talked about, that's one of the best sweaters I've ever made.
But it's like, it's an interesting thing because I like in listening to you reflect back what I said, I don't know that it's like I want people to stop me and be like, your sweater is amazing. I think it's the idea that like this is a special event and I want a special
sweater that will represent
like
that
a special
event.
outfit.
I see what
like,
you're
you know
saying.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like it's more that, because I think our knits carry memory and carry story.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, like what story am I going to tell?
Yes. And if there's something to it, then that's something connected to the event. Like if it's just basic, like a V-neck sweater or something, you might be like, okay, I forget.
Yeah.
Maybe? Like it needs something that's sort of a little, what are those things when like there's a word when there's like a little reminder of something, like a, I don't know, maybe
like a
something
or
here.
A glimmer
or something like that this is like, you need something that's going to like find it. It's a tag in your brain.
And I was like, since my whole framed sweater thing did not come out very framed, I was like, I want to do the quilt square. I'm like into the quilt square vibe that is happening.
I'm glad you made
so
this.
I'm going to do this one because my framed quilt squares are, you can't see them. It's like an optical illusion if I walked around and if I like did this, people would fall over.
You brought, okay, good, because I was like, check out. Although it's also maybe worthwhile watching last episode, because Jackie pulls it out and asks me what I think it is. And I thought it was this.
I mean,
and then for quite a while, I'm like, wait a second. I don't think I'm even looking at the sweater I thought I was looking at.
Maybe I'll bring it out later when I talk a little bit about it. Because on that note, one of the things, I have finished objects, but one of the things is that I have a bunch of like whips, and Rhinebeck is like approaching, and I could use some help from the community and you
decision making
to help me decide in the like less than 4 weeks that I have left, what am I gonna finish?
You also have the drive, because I drive.
It's true.
So she
I
gets
get to passenger princess.
She last time finished a sweater while I was driving all these hours.
Yes, we're gonna do better this year though, because last year it took us almost 12 hours to drive home. Yeah,
that was an electric car issue. Also going up the wrong side where all of the like charging stations had like no power, so it would take forever.
Yeah.
And a heavy loaded
car.
In the rain.
We brought a lot of things with us.
It was 1:30 by the time we got home.
Yeah. I remember when we rolled up to the border, the guy was just like, "Do you know what time it is?" And I was like, "Evidently, we don't look like the party type."
No,
like,
yes.
like,
What are you girls doing on a Sunday night? Coming back, we're like, we went to a knitting festival. Like, okay.
And we were like,
and I love you didn't even ask us like we would be over the limit, like because he's like
we
nobody
were
could possibly
we
be
were
over
like,
the limit.
We were like, Pat,
but I think he was like a knitting
trunk. Yeah,
he's like, there's no way they'd be over like $800 or whatever. And it's like we were close. Not over.
Damage
Close.
was done.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Wow.
Yay!
I really love this and I want it. This is
you
what
can wear it
always
for a while.
happens. I'm like happy with the things I know. See, I know. I'm happy with the things I've made and I also just want yours.
I'm telling you, we're gonna do that every like we just need to figure out what the rotation is. Like I'm like, how long will I love this?
Yes.
And feel like I can't give it away just yet.
But
because
it's
we
only
should
like
just
a 4-week
trade closets like, I don't know, every 12 months, 6 months, 8 months.
Oh, we could do that.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Or like each time, what if like each podcast we like just bring a couple things
Oh.
and you grab something from here, so you bring something, and then for that amount of time till the next podcast.
Okay, so I'm an only child, and I feel like I'm having like this wonderful experience where I'm like, I have a sister now, and I have a sister's closet to steal, and she'll be annoyed with me.
I was just gonna say,
I'm gonna take the things she likes. I'm gonna be like,
literally have my sister's voice in my head right now. She's watching this now, and she's going, "Oh yeah, but I used to go in and I would steal certain things that she wanted to wear. I mean, she did it too. This is what you do, but it's annoying.
Yeah.
You go and then, or you wear it and then it's dirty by the time, like you have to like have it washed. And you're like, but I was gonna wear that.
Yeah. Like so in my head, in my logical brain, I feel like we should be trading like. You should have the thing for an entire season. You know what I'm saying? Like you have it all fall and then next fall it's yours.
Oh, yours back or like what like the one you knit, we keep for ourselves for that season
then the next season the other person gets it.
It's just okay, yes, I get it. You guys don't care about this. We'll figure it out. I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, we're gonna like sort this, but they're not gonna be involved in this, but I'm like, can I live without my pressed flowers for an entire season? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't know that I don't
think you can do this an entire season not having it.
Yeah, it's true.
But I also don't need it for the whole season. I just want to wear it for 4 weeks.
All right.
Right.
Mohair mosaic. For those of you who are so if you haven't if you watch us you most definitely know Casey, but Casey's running the Mosaic Mayhem Knit Along, which goes till the end of the year, and it's like an encouragement to knit mosaic. So if you are thinking about mosaic and you like haven't decided on your materials yet, like
that's a lot of balls though. So what's your ball management strategy? Because mohair twists and does things that's pain.
I do the thing that you're like not supposed to do, but I do anyways, where I like wind the ball normally, and then to knit double stranded I like have the outside strand and the inside strand
from the mohair.
That
works out.
Yeah, it works out.
Okay, I'm gonna try that.
And it's easy because it's like like you have it's just you have your mohair ball and then you have your like contrast color ball. That's perfect
because I don't.
Which is easy.
It's already annoying. I find it annoying. Lots of
mosaic.
Balls. Yes, but balls. Aren't balls annoying at times?
Yes.
Sometimes. Too many of them.
Too many balls. Lots of too many balls. Balls everywhere.
Yeah, balls. Anyway, that can bother me sometimes, especially if it all gets twisted and then I have to untwist it. And do you guys feel like there's something about knitting that makes my time so important? Like, so whenever I waste time, it's like wasted stitches time. Like, so if I'm like unwinding something, I'm
it's time not knitting.
Time not knitting.
Yeah.
So now my sweater's taking longer than it needs to be because I'm unwinding. I'm doing something that's not even like.
Okay, you know how people talk about like anniversaries of things, like,
yes.
you know, like on my birthday I'm always reflecting on like my previous birthday, and every Christmas I'm thinking about the last Christmas. Like, I feel like you and I are like reliving the lead up to Rhinebeck, in which we knit the tessellated sweater and are like which the tessellated was 3 balls with a fluff, and I feel like made me incredibly aware of that I have a ball limit. Like, never, I never had ever like sort of like, I knit all these kinds of like color work sweaters, and I had never thought like it matters to me how many balls or how many colors I have. Like, I was completely blissfully unaware until the tessellated pullover.
Yes, you're like, no.
Where I was like, this is too many balls.
It's too many balls. It's too many balls. It really was. I hated that so much.
But the product was so good. I love that vest so much. I love my sweater.
I have to wear it. Why have I not?
It's
getting the season for it.
That vest needs a cleanse.
I smudge it. Yeah.
Like, you need to like energetically cleanse it, because I feel like every time you look at it, you're just like filled with loathing around the process, because you were just like hustling. I know. It was like, I'm running out of time to finish this vest for Rhinebeck, and I've got balls, and I'm like, balls.
And there's a story component to it, so that was getting caught with stuff too.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're not talking about that because that was last year.
But you know.
Yeah. Well. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna skip to my whip because we're talking.
Yes.
So you would think that having done that and hating it so much that even 12 months later I'm still this upset about it and not wearing it, I got myself into it again. But I couldn't help myself because this, so this was another one of my test knit. Yeah, if you want to bring it up, a test knit foray. Lavanya Patricella.
One of my, like, unknown, most amazing designers.
Unknown? Like,
not unknown.
Like you didn't know?
Less, for me, was new.
Oh,
like newish.
Okay.
Like I don't know. I feel like
she's so brioche, right? Like, she had that, it was brioche for a long time, which maybe... Yeah, didn't do as much.
But she's somebody who I feel like is really prolific, but I don't hear about as often as I hear about others. So she's not like not well known, but like
I think it's probably also like she's had babies for the last like couple, and we know what that like. It's just going to cut down on ability to make a bunch of stuff. And actually, this one, so I'm test knitting something called the Thistle Thorn Pullover. He's gonna bring it up, but even in Lavanya was saying that I think she started this a year ago or something, and then didn't have the time to finish it up, and then started this test knit. She's also giving like a really generous. I think we had something like 2 months to knit,
nice.
Which I was like, 2 months to knit. This is amazing. And then I started knitting it, and I kind of understand why.
I'm sorry, my internet is not working at your house. I don't know why. Because I got a new phone. I don't know what your.
But you're not on my.
Freshen your drink.
Freshen my drink. Yeah. What's? Oh, sorry. Let me see if it's this one. Is it this one, Carmen?
We'll see.
It's not looking good.
Oops. Okay, keep talking. We'll link it below.
It's this gorgeous.
They'll see it.
You'll see it. Well, you'll see the beginning of it.
Yeah.
I'll just show it to you. Okay. So it is a mosaic knitting.
So beautiful.
I gotta get it on the right. Oops. I shouldn't have done this right on the seam. Look at this. I'm trying to make it better and I just couldn't even do that. Hold on.
It's this one, right? Yes.
Yeah. That's it.
Come on. Internets.
Look how pretty this is.
It's so beautiful.
So in a mosaic knitting, you have a very, generally, right? Like a very geometric, like square, like window pane thing. That's what I see a lot of times with.
Yes.
Because you're going to slip one knit one. Look how pretty that is.
I like it. It did not reflect.
I know.
Sorry,
Put it
friends.
over
Oh, there we
around
go.
me.
There we go. So beautiful.
It is so beautiful. So it's the same kind of thing, except this one's a different, you can see, has a different kind of pattern
Color
to it.
choices, Carmen. I'm dying.
I am very happy with the colors.
Oh.
I am very happy. So I started this actually with 2 different colors. So I was going to use Matinee. Okay, so this is a fingering. This is the Sunday morning, Sonder Yarn Sunday morning 4-ply in Dream State, which is a teal color. Is that coming out?
So good.
No, kind of.
There.
There?
Yeah.
I had originally done it in Matinee, which is kind of a bluey gray.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if I was quite seeing the things well enough. And I was using Handspun, which was in a similar color, but I wasn't sure if it was my Handspun that wasn't coming out or if it was the Matinee. So then I changed the Handspun. So this is Spincycle dyed in the wool in a color called Heart Sigh.
It's so beautiful, this color.
This one.
My
It
God.
is so pretty.
So pretty.
I've had that for
Forever.
3 years, 4 years, like deep stash that like I bought way back and just never used. And then I was like, oh, I could combine this. So there is something about Spincycle dyed in the wool that like, it is unique. It's unique.
It's the color.
It's how they do
the color changes.
the long
color changes.
and the decisions of like what colors they put, and each one's different. So this is one skein that's doing this, but then the next one's gonna have different, like it's gonna be similar but not exactly. So I like that there's no, I've seen other color changing yarn that's quite consistent. So you'll end up with similar, like the stripes being
Right.
similar places, but here
Right.
you can see it like changes
so
at different
beautiful.
times. I'm very happy with it.
Beautiful, Carmen.
It really is so beautiful.
Carmen.
Right, guys? Please tell me. I mean, no, I already know it is pretty. It's so pretty. It's so worth the time. It is not fast. It's not fast, and for me, it's not actually. I'm gonna have to take this off. Actually,
It's hot, right?
it is. It's not fully intuitive.
Can you read it?
No, I can't. Maybe another, if I worked hard to figure it out, I think I could, but it's actually over about, I think it's 6 or 8.
Oh, it's like an 8-row repeat?
It could be, I think it's 8. Yeah, 8 rows repeated, and they're similar, but they're not, and like things travel, like even the
BOR.
yeah, BOR, beginning of the round travels.
Yeah, I was gonna
you can
say
kind of
that.
see that it
Yeah,
kind of, there's sort of a weird, anyway, and like Jackie was saying in the regular, I guess, I don't even know, this is mosaic knitting, would
It's
still be
considered
considered
mosaic
it, right?
knitting because they're slipping, right? But you're also crossing, aren't you?
No,
No, you're not crossing.
no, you're not crossing.
Uh-huh.
It's another kind of thing that we're doing to make it, and this is what I mean, like every row is very different. You're not even slipping on every row, and but there's no rest row. So like in the regular mosaic, you generally have like some kind of row where you're like resting a little bit, or it's not like complicated. Like everyone has like, they're always different and there's no rest.
But it's always mosaic. Like you're never working with 2 colors at the same time.
Right.
Right? Like you're
Only
never
one color.
One color
Yes.
each time. Okay.
For two rounds.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carmen.
But it is so pretty.
It's so pretty.
So it's gonna be, it's bottom up if you saw in the thing, it goes up to here, and then it's a drop shoulder construction.
And what I really like about it is like it's got a really nice open
Yes. When you come
neckline.
back to the darker,
Yeah.
like the teal will be up here, but it's a nice wide neckline. And like I've been knitting this for a while.
Have you steamed it yet?
No, I should. I'm hoping, maybe I should, and then
I feel
that'll
like
be
steam
longer.
it and see if you you have more done than you think you do.
So I think that's a good idea.
The color is perfection.
I love it.
Color is absolutely perfection. What's so funny is so many of you know that Carmen and I now rarely talk about our knitting, so that we
Have
get
surprise.
to have surprises. But I was recently in Scotland, which is like the most beautiful place in the entire world. We just want to move there.
Yep.
And like there's a certain, like Scotland has colors that for me, I'm like, I've not seen these colors in nature like anywhere else in the world that I've been.
Yes.
And I feel like you can, like, this is what Scotland looks like.
Yes.
And I actually have one of my like contenders for, I probably cannot get this done by Rhinebeck times, but like so interesting because I have a version of this that I'll show.
We don't even talk.
We don't even
we
talk.
We end up with the same
Yeah,
thing.
but I don't have this like gray blue slate with like light slatey gray blue.
I know.
That in my color story that I think I now will need to have.
It is.
Although actually.
Yes, actually, that's not well. And matinee was it? No, this was under the duvet, right? But it was a similar. Yeah,
we like what we like.
We do. We do.
Like, hang on a second.
So true.
It's so stunning, Herman.
I'm very happy with it.
What I'll say around like, you know, these beautiful art piece commitment knits is like I am certain looking at that this is gonna become. I can just make a cowl. Like this is gonna become a staple piece in your wardrobe. I just know it. I just know it because of the shape of the sweater.
Yes.
Like I can just see you wearing that with jeans forever.
Exactly. And I can
Forevermore.
wear it I could wear this to work too.
Yeah.
Like it's not neutral obviously, but it's also not like really, really out there. Like
it's also your colors. It's so your like that teal is so Carmen.
I know it. Dream State and Free Spirit are like my spirit colors, I think. Like
Yeah.
just love them.
Spirit from Sonder.
Yes, both from Sonder, of course. Yes.
I really, 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 really hope you finish it.
Oh, I'm finishing it because
Before
it's a test
Rhinebeck.
knit. I think I will. I mean, I want to, but
If you were are you
No, I
doing
couldn't.
any other tests right now?
no, I have finished
so you
all
have
of my
4
tests.
weeks to monogamously knit this thing.
I know, but I don't know that I can do that. Like I've actually got an extra FO that I knit in 4 days.
Because you
week.
needed something.
Because I needed a break and I couldn't just do this. So I'm trying to do an inch a day. But that's many hours to do an inch.
Yeah. I want to steam this thing and see if in fact. Wouldn't it be great if it just grew double?
I'd be like, oh damn it, I gotta rip it out.
I mean, because I will say, okay, mosaic knitting grows a lot row-wise.
That's true. I did forget about that.
I also feel like, at least my experience of working with Sonder, both their BFL Massam is that, or their BFL Massam cashmere is that I always get a lot of row.
That's
length.
true.
And then the Spincycle superwash.
It is. Yeah, that's right.
We'll report back.
Okay, we will report. I'm gonna do that today.
I want to like run and get your steamer right now, but we won't do that.
You just have it upstairs. I was just steaming.
Remember when we did it with the Thistle?
I did.
And you were just so much happier?
Yes.
So,
What did I do?
all right. What else? We have way too many things to show for
We do have a lot.
for
But-
steaming intermission.
Okay, true. Why don't we do you and then we'll go.
Oh, okay.
It's not the Carmen show the whole way.
I mean, it's gonna be the Carmen show. We do so many things. All right. We'll do a quick one. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Since we're
Oh,
on
yes.
the topic of Scotland,
Yes, yes, yes.
you guys have seen this before, but I wanted to show it to you finished and also thank you for your input. Dun, dun, dun.
Yay!
Yay. So this is the Traveler hoodie by Dry Ready
Mowry.
Knits. We showed a version of this last episode, I think, and then I showed this without the sleeves.
I like the sleeves.
And you also encouraged me to do the sleeves. I'm so happy that I did. So
I'm
this
so glad
this
you
was
did.
like my Scotland uniform. Again, like this like fantasy knit kind of situation. Like I loved this colorway and I was like, I want like a Scotland sweater. I want like a literally a traveler.
Yep.
And I want it in sort of like Scotland colors. So this I won't go over all of the stats again. This is my Handspun in the colorway Herb Garden and Oscar from Megan at Bramble Ridge. I did a 3-ply, and the whole thing is 653 grams in total.
Yeah.
But man, did it ever do me well in like foggy, misty Scotland climate.
Dry.
It kept me dry, it kept me warm. It was like the perfect thing. And the sleeves, for those of you who maybe are thinking about knitting this, I was shocked at how much the addition of the sleeves like pulls the shoulder down.
It was about to
like
here,
it was
I feel
significant.
Yes.
But I love how it looks. I also I think there's gonna be a third one in the mix because it's so good on the
it is so
hood.
Beautiful with your hair.
And like I just like bopped around and felt like I matched the landscape so much. It was just so perfect. It was so good because it,
Scotland is, just turn the side again. Like, that way. Like usually you get like a pointy head. This one is just so beautiful. It's a beautiful hood.
Mowry. This is like the hood is the most complex part of this pattern.
And heaviest,
so
I think,
worth
right?
it.
Almost.
Yeah, it was like the hood in and of itself. I mean, you can kind of see if I look how much fiber it is.
That's a lot.
I think of the 653 grams, I want to say like over 100 grams of it is like just on the hood, but it's so worthwhile. And I knit this, like this is my, I knit a pullover version. You can see it in the last episode. And I was like, I'm really happy without the hood. But now that I like have this one and had the hood and like on the plane and when I got like misty and rainy, I just like popped it up. I'm like, this is the best like loungy sweater situation ever. So I also wanted a little like this was my Scotland vibe.
Oh, I love it.
I love this lime green so much. My husband stole the hat, however, and so I need to knit myself a second one, which I can, but I wanted to like show you the like outfit vibes.
It's beautiful.
Because like all of our vacation photos is me just like bopping around in this outfit. And I was like, I was thinking about Scotland when I knit it, and I like was in Scotland when I had it. Aww. And like had the whole like Scotland vibe. And so this will forever be my Happy Scotland outfit. So this really quickly, is the it's a free pattern from Espace Tricot. It's the On the Sea Train hat, which I modded to have a double brim, I think in the pattern.
Right.
It's like doesn't have the double brim, but I just like made the brim longer. I love this color.
Leanne from the Knitting Stew, she's
loves
knit like
these hats.
10 of these.
Yeah, so
I have to make one of these.
Yeah, try it on. So the yarn, because like it's the best limey green ever. Like I want, when you were showing your like totally tubular turtleneck.
Yes.
I was like, I want one that color.
Yes. Yes.
It's the perfect green. I love the name. This is from our friend Britt at Crux Fibers. It's called Banshee of Paradise, which I'm just like, like when the name hits,
Oh my God. Perfect.
So that is, I held one strand of her BFL, 100% BFL fingering with one strand of Surrey alpaca, which I feel like makes a really, what's it called? What our friend says, it's like a Muppety kind of fabric. It's a really, I feel like it just feels really nice. I held the Surrey double through the brim.
Okay.
And then the rest of the hat is just one strand fingering, one strand Surrey. I did modify the crown on the Sea Train hat. And maybe I'll write it up as well, just to get the shape. Like one of my favorite beanies is the Manhattan hat by Tori Yu.
That's what I thought this was at first.
And I like the shape of the crown, so I adjusted the rate of the decreases so that it's less pointy. Because if you look at on the Sea Train,
the other one's pointier.
The other one is pointier. Like the decreases in pattern, the decreases happen a lot more rapidly. Does that make it pointier? I don't know, like
yes.
Like some of the project pictures, I was like, it has that little like point, like a gnome, that I'm like, I don't know that I like am pulling off the gnome situation. I want like a rounded top, less pointy. So I'm really happy with how the decreases came out in terms of the shape that it makes.
Yeah.
So I think this will be my like, I think it's a really, it's like gonna be my staple beanie pattern. It's also great for travel knitting and stuff because the Manhattan hat is like really nice, but you have to pay more attention. And there's a section where you're Kitchener stitching it. And I feel like the gauge when you're like I've knit a whole bunch of those hats, and like some of my hats are better than others depending on like how good I was at Kitchener stitch in terms of like how the crown looks.
Oh yeah.
So this one I feel like is like lovely because it's
just comes together.
It just comes together, and you're basically counting. And I also feel like the decrease section feels shorter because you're like basically done the thing. But yeah, Banshee of Paradise, love so much.
Of Paradise.
I also,
Perfect
I don't
name.
know, like, oh, you can kind of see it here when you hold it, like the way that Britt dyes and the way that her like tonals come
You would
out.
never know.
I just love how there's like a little bit of hand-dyed vibe, but not. It's not
it's
super.
so,
it's so subtle.
You're
but
right.
It's
I
so
can
nice,
only
you know.
barely see a little bit of tonality.
But it gives you that sort of like watercolor effect that I love so much. So this was total instant gratification. This was like,
a day or 2
I want to
days.
have a cute beanie for when we're hiking.
Need it.
Okay. And it was 50, I ended up using like, it was 50 grams of the fingering and 50 grams of the
50
Surrey.
of the Surrey.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I know that, like I use exactly half because I know that, like my husband, like I had 2 skeins that are 100 grams each.
But not of the Surrey.
Of the Surrey, because Brit's Surrey is the lace weight Surrey, so like it's like 400 and something yards. You know how like some Surrey silk is like 100 grams gives you 328 yards or something like that. Brit's is the like lace weight.
Did you double the Surrey?
Yeah.
You doubled this? No, I mean like 2 Surreys with the
2
finger?
Surreys and 1 fingering only for the brim.
Oh, only for the brim.
And then the rest of it. And what I'll say is, I think I'll do that again because what I notice about some of the like beanies that I have that I've knit out of like worsted with mohair or like DK with mohair is that like I get too hot. Like when I'm doing something active, like when I'm hiking, I'm like good when I start, but then I get like way too hot. And my husband ended up like stealing it because it was just like the perfect temperature for when we were in Scotland because your ears are warm.
How chivalrous.
Yeah. I mean, I love my husband. I like hiking way more than my husband, and so for him, like I have to like keep him happy, and so it's like his temperature. He gets M&Ms and trail mix like every so often. He also supports me up hills though and down hills, so you know it's an equal thing. I just need to like keep his spirits up. But really because this part is like it's like lighter. You get that like squishy feeling.
You
but
really,
then
I can feel it. Really is
like
nice
it hugs here, and then it's a little bit like airier on top.
You need to have a little chimney. You should leave a little hole.
A little hole?
There's a little steam.
Like those pony hats.
Oh, for ponytails.
For ponytails?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the other thing I want to say. The On the Sea Train hat is meant to be knit up, I think, in worsted. Like, I think the sample is in worsted. Yeah. But I cast on exactly, like, my size and a fingering plus lace weight.
Right.
And I feel like the weight actually is really nice.
It is nice. It's so funny how those things are. Like, now, I remember when I first started knitting, and it was like, I really thought, like, I had to follow all that stuff. Yes.
Use the sample
you
yarn.
Must. And it's like, well, it really does kind of expand the way you need it to.
Yeah.
Certain yarns.
I find BFL
like maybe, like a super
plus
wash
a
might
fluff,
not. Yeah.
like really, it'll adjust.
It's got a lot of space. Nugent, a similar thing. It'll just find its way.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. That's really cute. It's really, really adorable. This little point is really cute.
It's the perfect point for me. All right.
Love it. Okay.
More objects.
Another test knit. So, in the midst, so I mean, I can't remember which order it all came up. But I was test knitting a project by Tori Yu came up called the Courage Henley. So she's actually made a couple at least one Henley before, but I think a couple. And she wanted to make another one that was like longer.
Tori does such elevated basics.
She really and talk about the Manhattan hat, right? That's hers. Yeah. Like, can I just show you? It was the construction.
Okay.
This is the construction that I was just so interested in. I'm going to put it on in a second, but you get it's the saddle shoulder over top. And then
that line. That's so Tori.
In.
The line is so good.
Right? And then it goes into your sleeve. It continues. So this was left on hold, But here had to be picked up like around the edges. See, so you get like really cool line.
Is it worked flat?
At the top, it was worked flat.
For the shoulder part.
All of this, because of course this is also
Henley.
Yeah. I'll just show you this whole, like it's really beautiful.
And the button choice is like,
right? So my son, oh wait, one's a little off. My son and I went to like Fabricland just a couple days ago to get buttons, and I meant to bring the sweater, didn't. So of course I'm like, well, which ones are gonna work? And they were having a sale, 50% off the buttons, and each ones were like each one was like, it worked out to $1 for 3 or something.
Nice.
So I just bought 1 million buttons. So I mean, like patterns with 15mm buttons.
Send them.
About
we gotta use all the buttons that you bought for $1.
Justin's like, he's like, Mom, like, what are you gonna do with the buttons? I'm like, there's gonna be a reason for buttons. There's gonna be a reason. I think I have like 20. Or maybe it's not that bad.
You know what I kind of like on project bags when people put little pins?
Oh yeah.
I could do button art.
I should do this.
Oh,
so you're starting, I'm pretty sure, maybe in the back. I don't even know. You're doing all this fun stuff. You're picking up different things. It's so entertaining.
This is so you. Like
Isn't
you
it?
love like
The
a
construction.
like what is happening, and then suddenly, well, bam, you have like a saddle shoulder and a Henley. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
All of that. And even picking up, I'm always like, oh no, I have to pick up, but I also love to pick up. So like you've done this. Oh my God, I can't even. There's so many pieces to this where
fun.
You can see, okay, can you see this line here?
Yes.
Like you have a line there, and then you're coming down and this is open, and then you're picking up all of these different things at different rates, and then the top, it was just so fun. I'm gonna put it on.
Put it on so that I can put it on.
Yeah. You're like,
can you live an entire season without it?
Next year, I don't think so. Now I have to actually try to block. I think that this part I'm trying to fiddle with a little bit, but here, let me do this up a bit.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
I did make a mod too. I'm gonna have to talk about.
Oh my God, I love it so much.
Okay, let me do this up and then we'll see.
I also really want to talk about the wool, but I'll let you talk about the pattern.
I was gonna say, because you've knit this wool too. Okay. Let me see. I've really gone with some dark colors. Pretty. This is driving me a little bit nuts. I'm gonna have to like block. I'm trying to fiddle with this, but anyway. Okay. How pretty!
It's so classic and beautiful.
Like I've been just throwing this on, like just going out. So nice, hey?
So nice. This is one of my favorite. I mean, I noticed that we're in like. I'm in a brown phase.
Yeah,
well,
me too.
When I left Rhinebeck last year, when I showed the haul video, I was like, look at all the yarn that I bought, and it was all this chocolate brown. But I do have to say that this is such a gorgeous sheep's brown.
It is so beautiful.
So
Jackie
beautiful.
has so we've talked about how I especially like to buy kits. Like I like to buy wool for a specific project and then somehow just never knit that project.
Yes.
So we bought this together. They had a sample. So this is from Beaulaire's Orchard. Did you bring yours?
Yeah.
Of course you did. How do you know? Did I
I
know?
mean, no, you didn't know.
I didn't think so.
Anyway, keep talking.
Look at the, there's some look at how sturdy that is. So anyway, it's Rommeldale CVM sheep that they raise. What do we call it? I guess it's just DK weight.
Yeah, so it's a woolen spun 2-ply. They call it DK, but the yardage is incredibly generous.
Yeah,
like it's 360 yards.
60
for 100 grams.
And I think this was a worsted pattern, but I was pretty sure that it was going to be fine, I'm happy.
Yeah.
With.
Did you end up? Do you know what gauge?
Yes, so it should be 19. Mm-hmm. And I gauge swatched, and I was doing things, and at the top I was knitting at 19. And then as I got down here, I don't know, I guess I was just having the opposite.
Oh.
I was really relaxed. And I was looking at this going, oh my God, it started getting to 16.
Yeah.
So this is the place where I modded it, and I have to talk to Tori because I could redo it. But I'm like, what do we do now? Because I don't want to, I'm already here. My gauge has changed. I don't want to change. I either change needles or I reduce the circumference.
You make decreases.
Or I leave it as it is, and then I'm not sure if it's going to be just way too wide.
Right.
Right. So these are my different options. So I decided to decrease it. Like,
you often do this, I find, in a lot of, like, I feel like, well, sorry, you have knit sweaters that the pattern calls for it to be straight, but you do some decreases, which I think really actually works for fit for you.
Do you think that's where I'm like, does it work? Because I don't know if I decreased it a little bit too much. Like, do you think it's a little too wide in comparison, or is it all? I decreased 4 times, 4 stitches. So I took it 16 stitches down.
But if you were to adjust, like, I mean, when I look at, like, if you stand up and I look at it, I don't see that as tapered. Like, I don't see that as tapered. I see that as, like, really fitting your body.
Okay. Good.
It doesn't look like, you know, we've knit things where it does look like it is like dolmany and it comes in, but I don't see that at all. I think it just like has a great fit.
Okay, good. Because I was wanting it to be representative of the look she was having. Without, I didn't know what to do, you know, in terms of, because I even like this is why do I bother with the swatches? They lie.
I mean, it's like because it's flat versus in the round, right?
But I did both. I even swatched both.
Yeah.
And I went down my needle sizes because lately I've just been like way looser.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I was still good. I was good up here. I was good, and then it just ended up getting too loose.
You know what I've been playing with? I don't know if this actually is a thing or not, but I find that not only is it needle size, but it's length of cable. Like if I'm knitting on a really, like if I'm knitting in the round on a small cable, I end up knitting tighter than if I'm knitting on a longer cable.
Because you'd be straight, okay.
I don't know, like there's just something about the way that the tension changes.
But then, like I'd be awful then, because it's not, I'm never on, I had to move this one from the 14, it was 24 inches. And I was like, I better put it on a longer cable so you guys can see it.
But I mean, your hands are different than mine. And so it's not like I'm not saying that cable, like, you know, longer cable equals this or shorter cable equals this, but I'd be curious for you to check, for you to just like,
interesting.
Experiment with whether cable length impacts, because cable length impacts mine.
It's interesting.
It kind of like, it's the way I feel like, you know, they talk about small circumference knitting, like knitting versus larger circumference.
I think.
Yeah. Anyway.
I would have, I don't know.
But it doesn't matter because you fixed it. Like you
right?
like used your tools and you used your knitting tools and you resolved it. I love this so much.
I love it. I love it. I think it's really unique. It's a base, as we say, an elevated basic, right? Like it's just a really fun, I love this color. So it's in the walnut colorway, which we just, Jackie and I just loved. We got this at Rhinebeck last year.
It was, we had so much fun meeting Heather in the booth. I knit a stick season sweater, but in the lighter color. And randomly, this is so funny, I don't think I knew that you were working with that.
No.
Because I just cast on in walnut. And I'll show the whip maybe. I just cast on and they just released. They just got a whole batch back from the mill because I'm on their newsletter. And I mean, the color, because the sheep's fleece changes color, they've just released like this year's mill run, and they have usually, when we were there, they had 3 different shades in the DK weight. This year they have 3 shades of DK and 2 shades of worsted, and they're going to be at Rhinebeck, and I'm absolutely going to get more of this wool because it's some of my favorite spun farm yarn ever. Yeah. But they're actually like, their dark one I think is called Buttercup this year, and it is like selling out. So if you are looking at this and you're thinking, I want this wool, it is so gorgeous, I want this sweater that Carmen knit, like now would be a good time, because Heather was like, I don't think that this dark color is gonna make it to Rhinebeck. And I remember when we were in their booth on the Sunday. Yeah. Like you, myself, and Lily all wanted this yarn for this beautiful vest that they had a sample of. Yes. And it was like that moment where it was like, please have enough skeins for all 3 of us, because we all want to knit this together and stay friends. And then I also have not used this to knit the vest, but I love this wool. And now I have some extra too. Oh, this took 306 grams. So yeah, it would have been like, most of these have, like, they're usually even a little bit more. I think usually it's like 115 grams sometimes. So the reason I don't know exactly is because I actually had one split into 2, because I think I had started that vest Oh.
And I was holding it double, so then I didn't really pay attention to like how like my skeins were already kind of. Anyway, that's why I don't know if it's exactly. But I think I only had 4 of these, right? I'm pretty sure. So then I have quite a bit more. No, anyway, carbon doesn't matter.
We'll
306 grams is how much it weighed before buttons to make.
So beautiful.
I really love it. I think this is so pretty, and I love this color.
The buttons
so
are just so.
They're good, hey?
So good.
I know they have this cute little. I don't know if I can show you. Oh, like little flowers.
Yeah,
Pretty.
just perfect tone. I feel like it really like brings up the.
Buttons are funny, right? Because there's so many. You can change your whole thing. I was very close to using actually. It was like a see-through but kind of maroon.
Ooh.
That had a little bit of movement into like dark charcoal gray. Like it was, and I was like, oh, that would have changed it completely. But I'm really happy with this one. I feel like it's just so classic.
I feel like it's classic, and I also feel like the design and the fit and how it looks like well represents the yarn.
Yes.
Right? Like it's this like gorgeous farm yarn, this like family run.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
could
I
be
mean?
like I could be like shoveling.
You could be mucking out
I could be mucking out a stall. I should be mucking out a stall. I just think, don't you just love patterns that have interest? Like
I love those little interest details. Oh my
just
gosh.
look at it.
And I will say that this is one of those, it's hard, right, with like dark colors for things to show across the screen. Although I feel like, you know, fingers crossed, it's a very overcast day today and it was raining. So perhaps it's not, you're able to see it a little bit. But yeah, so anything else that you wanted to share with that?
No, do you want to try it before you do this on?
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Thank you.
By the way, I know sometimes people mention the lighting. Like sometimes we're blown out. I'm pretty sure that's like based on our own.
I think
like
there's
what
a
you're
lot of
watching
changes. It changes on devices.
Yeah,
so
because I find for
notice-
my own devices, it changes. With some of them, it's
so if you
out.
feel like things are really blown out, like I'll invite you to like adjust your brightness, or like especially if any of you, like for me, sometimes I watch podcasts on my TV.
Yes.
And the way that my TV like is set like cinematic,
makes
really blows out like all podcasts, and so like I have to go and like my TV has like presets in terms of like all of those like pieces. Oh God.
I know. Also, I noticed that what the light is like around me when I'm watching on a device, like my iPad or my phone, matters. So like if it's lower light, it'll be a different color than if it's not.
Yeah, because some devices have like auto brightness. I love this.
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty. It's so cozy.
It's so cozy. Isn't it just like have a tea, sit and, you know, like wrapped up, read a book? Not that I read a book because I'm knitting, but like listening to a book with a like blanket on your lap. And
I also feel like to me this is peak fall. I'm like, where are apple? I would like to pick some apples.
Yes, with
like
some
I would like to
boots,
pick some
like
apples.
like rain boot, you know, like wellies. And
I feel like this would be really cute to style as well. Like a plaid skirt.
Yes. Oh my God, I could see
Plaid
this on
skirt
Lily.
with like docks.
Oh.
Like I want to be in a plaid skirt with docks.
Okay, I'm going
apples.
to be in a plaid skirt with docks at Rhinebeck wearing this.
So this is. Did I know you were working with this yarn?
I might have said it the last time. I can't remember. I might have mentioned it in a I was like, oh, because I think we talked about the bow layers for some reason. I said I think I might have mentioned I was knitting something in it.
So I cast on. So there were two things. One is that I was like, oh my gosh, Rhinebeck's coming, and I love Heather so much, and I really wanted to I wanted to like go and visit her with something that I had knit in her yarn. Now I've done the stick season sweater, but so I could have done that, but I really like I got the fall vibes, and I was like, I want more chocolate brown because it's just like my favorite neutral color at this time. I also got totally knitfluenced and ended up in like a little mini book club cardigan cal. Like there was like a big one, I feel like, that is probably over, but there's a little group of us who are knitting it, some of whom have finished it and some of whom have not yet cast on. And so I was like, I'm all about these kinds of cals that are like,
love it. Whenever you
like
get around.
whenever you get around to it. But I cast on.
Look at the stitch definition.
The stitch definition
Look
on
at
this
it.
is incredible.
Can you see?
Can you see it?
Go a little bit, maybe. Yeah. Oh yeah, there.
Like, I'm glad that you say that, because what I knew when I looked at the cardigan, like the book club cardigan by Sarah Nordland, which I should probably pull up.
Oh, it's so pretty.
It's funny because Sari's sample is in like this like beautiful neutral, which I would ordinarily say is absolutely 1000% like my color story.
Mm-hmm.
But when I saw it, for some reason, it didn't really grab me. And then because there were some podcasters running a knit along, I feel like it just like exploded and everyone was knitting them. Is this the one? Is it? Yeah. See this like beautiful like taupey cream deliciousness.
How did I miss this one? I want to look at it.
So the versions that I liked so much were the ones that were in like punchier, more saturated colors. Like people were knitting it. One of the wonderful women in that like little cal chat did it in this like royal blue.
Oh god.
So good. And like I'm seeing all these
parade,
like rusts.
like, or not parade,
yeah, parade.
No, that's the green Sonder yarn. She's got a blue one. She's got a blue. Anyway.
In any case, so I was like, I think I want it like saturated, and I knew from working from knitting the stick season sweater that I was like, the way that this cardigan is gonna feel in this yarn is incredible, and the stitch definition is incredible. I mean,
it's incredible.
Once I cast it on, I was like, is this showing the pattern enough? But the way it feels is so,
and it's
so
not even
good.
blocked.
Yeah, it's not even blocked. Is yours blocked?
Yeah.
I am curious. I like this is like new information to me. Some of you are gonna be like, of course, Jackie. But I just recently found out that there's a difference between wool wash and like I think about, what do I use? Eucalan, and there's like another one, soak. Mm-hmm. I just discovered that these are not actually wool washes. They are there's like a difference in terms of the soapiness. Yeah. And I just recently learned that with some farm yarns, you knit them and there's still some of the spinning oil involved. Right. And if you use like Eucalan or soak, you're not actually taking that out. Mm-hmm. So I don't know actually whether
maybe
there's,
I should try that.
Whether like I don't actually know. When I feel this, one of the reasons I love this is it has like this incredible bounce. It also feels lanolin-y to me. Does it feel lanolin-y to you?
No, it feels so dry that I'm like, it's knitting with it feels dry. But I feel like it's dry. Moist. Like I feel like it's oily. It's the opposite. I feel so weird. I feel like it's the driest yarn I've ever worked with. What?
This is blowing my mind right now. Have you worked with
What's really funny is that like I feel like when I'm gonna have to go back and look at our episode when you knit the stick season, because I'm pretty sure you said it had a dry feeling.
Like it is dry. It's not like newton and lanolin, but I feel like there's a somehow it feels unctuous to me. Like it feels maybe that's just the bounciness of it. But I'm curious as to, just because it's a farm yarn, I'm curious
what would be like if I like
wool washed it, whether it would change.
Yeah.
But I can't wait. We talked about this wool so much when we first got it, and to return to knit it, I just love it so much.
I love it so much.
So much.
The color is so, and I know it won't be exactly the same color, but like there's something just so, it's so beautiful. It feels so rustic.
Yeah, talk about the feeling of this yarn, because I feel like I have never knit with anything that feels like this.
No, I can't.
Before.
It's not scratchy. It's not soft. It's flexible, but also has body to it.
Yes.
So it's like, I don't know how to describe it. Okay, now that I'm trying to feel,
oily.
I guess I feel oily, but it's so dry in hand, isn't it? Maybe now I'm second guessing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's just it's just really unique.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's a unique experience
like
to work with it.
There's no other yarn I would relate it to.
No.
Yeah.
And it also helps that it's being produced by like amazing people.
I know. You can feel it. So they grow, like they have, these are their sheep, and then they have it like milled. There's something different about that when you're talking to the shepherd or shepherdess, you know, who's like telling you all about.
But I think I taught, like when I knit the stick season sweater and was like, I think CVM is my favorite, like, breed. You guys so generously were like, you should try this, you should try that. And I have squished some skeins of like CVM. And this is different.
Yeah.
There's something different about this one. It's interesting that you use the word rustic because I don't think of it as rustic at all.
But it's farmy. Like it fits
like
in a
it
farm.
It feels earthy. I feel like it is like a workhorse yarn.
Yeah.
But I don't think of it like, I think for me rustic carries with it a little bit more wooliness. And this feels like a hardy fine wool, as opposed to like a medium wool or a long wool. Hardy fine wool. It's like a body.
I don't know.
Love it.
I feel like it's not as, I don't know that I would call it a fine wool.
Not fine. I don't know what the micron count is. It's
Well,
not
no,
like
but I mean,
flippy.
Even, like I might have said like Corriedale might be a hardy fine wool,
okay, yeah.
and this feels like hardier than that.
But there's no scritch factor.
It's
like
not.
Zero.
No, but it's not soft.
It's not soft.
So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like,
just,
if you're looking for something that is gonna give you a classic piece that has like great stitch definition, and just like you want something different on your needles, like Bowlayers.
I mean, if you think about it, like, so this is a worsted, it's DK, but it can go worsted, and you've got so much yardage for it. Like, it's actually quite cost effective. Like, I find that, you know, worsted patterns, sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, like that's going to be an expensive sweater because I'm going to need, let's say, like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
What do I need in worsted? Maybe 6. Down standard, maybe something like 600
grams.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably at least.
Yeah.
And with worsted, I often also want to make something like larger. So anyway, this would get you a lot further.
And I also feel like for me, I like we've talked about it before. Like there's a like maximum weight that I want to wear.
Yeah.
And especially like, and that's part of the reason I also chose this, because I was like, it'll be great because it'll be like, it's like cables and moss stitch, and so like your fabric is like denser, but because this is, you know, 4 ounces, 360 yards, and that sort of like flexible kind of fabric, I was like, this is a cable sweater that I won't find like, I'm like drowning in cables or like wearing like a heavy jacket.
Like, you know, if you go to, let's say you go to the like Ireland, right? And you buy like an Aran sweater, like an Aran sweater, and you know you're gonna put that on and it's gonna be like whoa, like, and it's gonna keep you really toasty and secure, and it's like a weighted blanket. It's not, it's lighter than that. Yeah. But with the same definition.
I love me a light cabled sweater. Like, I love the look of cables.
Yes.
But I don't always love the
weight
and the density and heavy-ness of like a full cable knit experience.
I agree.
I feel like full cable, like every cable thing that I've knit in unspun, which means you're like less dense, or in something that's like woolen spun. So again, it's less dense.
And even then, like, I'm thinking about that one I have, the Emily Green and blanket, that Balin, the Balin cardigan. And that was in woolen spun, like, because it was in
Gilead.
Thank you. It's so heavy. It's so heavy.
Yeah, like you feel like you're like,
yeah, like it's like
putting it on. Yeah,
it's outerwear. Like I don't wear that around the house, and it's like such long. But
it's really a jacket.
It's beautiful, yeah.
And I for me, like, I love knitting cables, but I also feel like cables are a lot of effort, and so I'm like, I want to be able to wear it. Right. You know, like, I love the look of a cabled sweater, I don't want to be like sweating buckets.
Yes,
Right.
that's true.
So yeah, I'm like, we will see you at Rhinebeck.
Well, there might be nothing left.
I mean, the dark is going. That's what she was like.
Right.
In the newsletter, she's like, if you would like the dark color, now would probably be a good time. It'll be interesting also because they've brought out a worsted line, and I'd love to like feel what the worsted line is going to be like. Yeah.
But I don't even know if I would want to go worsted. I really like this is. I'm pretty sure this is worsted, and I'm just like happy. Like, and you can see, like, it's not like it's too airy.
Yeah,
it's completely.
I find that it really plumps to fill whatever.
Exactly.
Not in the way that like mohair just like fills in gaps. Like I really feel like the fiber itself just goes.
Just grab their neighbors and say hello.
Yeah.
Just
I love this.
I'd love it too. Thank you, Tori, for all of your incredible ability. Actually, speaking of which, maybe I'll just jump.
Yeah.
Okay. So while, and I'm sorry, this one we might be blowing out now because the sun has come out because we talked about it being nice and overcast.
I know.
So it's like, so I finished this one. I've been working on this one, and I could just feel I needed a palette cleanser. And somebody had made a comment about I think it was our last episode, and I went back, and where it showed up on YouTube was was when I was wearing this sweater by Jackie, which was your Astrid, I think.
Yeah, my one color Astrid.
I just love. I'm gonna have to make something of this.
The color match you've gotten there though is kind of amazing. This again, Farm Yarn,
Mindful Folk,
Vanilla Sport, which I love this time of year. Not only is it like peak, like all the sweaters are coming out because it's fall. I also feel like it's peak like
wool
season. Like people are getting stuff
spring
back from the
and everything
mill.
Is all
So for those of you who are interested in this, Hannah just got this mill run of Fenella back from the mill. She and she posted on Instagram and like zero chill. I'm like, Hannah, like I know you're not gonna be at New York Sheep and Wool, so I'm just curious, like how whether the Fenella is only gonna go to like local fiber festivals or whether I, who live in Canada, I'm going to be able to access this amazing Fin mohair.
What's the answer?
And the answer is that she's going to have it on Etsy. But she has some like festivals that she's going to vend at first, and then she has to like take photos and that kind of stuff. Because not only like this was a natural, but not only will she have vanilla in natural tone, she does beautiful natural dyeing as well. So stay tuned.
Jesus.
It will be available.
It really is. So I saw myself wearing that and was like, I need it right now. And at the same time, Tori Yu had come out. Does she have a different? She goes by Tori Yu. No, she just
Tori
goes by.
NYC. Hang on.
Oh, Tori
NYC, I think.
Yeah.
We'll
Tori
link her
Knits
below.
NYC?
Tori Knits. I don't know.
We'll link it.
We'll link it.
Anyway, she had just released her Metropolitan Polo.
I wanted to knit this.
And then our favorite Melissa from Sonder was making one too, and I was like, what? Oh, that's right, because her original was in Sonder. And I'm gonna make one in my Sonder as well.
Tori Knits NYC.
But come on. It was this that got me. I'm like, oh my God, I have to knit this sweater right now. Even though, so my gauge, you can tell, in this. Like, so, yeah, this is the Fenella. Because I knew I wanted this, but look at the difference between the gauge, right? Because this gauge is this was kind of absurd, like in some ways maybe, that I like went with it. Because she calls this a sport. I mean, I guess it's not absurd, but you're supposed to be a fingering plus mohair.
The Metropolitan Pullover. It's what, 16 stitch gauge?
I think so.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh my God.
Twinning so hard right
Twinning
now.
always.
I thought that you had found the color in Sonder or something, but no.
No, I actually was like, I should not have worn this shirt underneath. I'm just looking at that. But
what's the key? Oh my God!
Right?
I'm just like,
this took, how much did I say? 198 grams. So it took 2 skeins.
Skeins.
2 skeins.
Okay, well I'm gonna make one.
What? Right?
Okay. An eyelet looks so good in a dark color.
I
like the way that it sits.
Oh my god, and I love how wide it is.
Yes.
Like where the increases happen.
It's perfect.
And there's a slight saddle.
There's a baby saddle.
Look
that
at
reminds
this.
me of the Friday I'm in Love.
Oh yeah. And then you have this cute little like rolled collar. I-cord edging.
So classic, so beautiful.
And there are 2 sleeve options, so I went with the one that doesn't have the decreases, not
it's
tapered.
like a balloon.
Yeah, but you know what? I have to look back at hers. I feel like it's not as brought in her version, in her white one, I think it is. That way. See, I feel like it's wider the bottom. Mm-hmm. So if I could redo this, or I liked how it kind of flared out. Yeah. So you could easily do that, like with just like there's a bit of, you change needle size as it comes down, and then do an I-cord. So next time I could either pull it or leave it, redo this one and just make it wider. But I do like the balloony, oh, sorry, Jeff, the balloony part too.
I think it like makes I think that sleeve makes things look a little bit dressier.
Yes, yes.
I love that finish. Oh my God, Carol, I love it so much.
I love it. Now there's so much, this is an absolute farm yarn. Like there's lots of places where there's just like
a little tweedy
thicker bits, and you have to just be like cool with it. Like that it's just a bunch of different.
But it also, I found that this blocked out so gorgeously, like pre and post blocking on this vanilla sport.
Yes.
Which made such a huge difference for me. Like everything really did just like fill out, and I don't know, something happened to it that was like so good to begin with, but more.
I feel like I love it here, and I also want to knit it again
in a tighter
gauge, because I really think the tighter gauge.
What size needle did you use? Size 5, does that say?
Size 9.
Size 9. Okay, I knit this on a size, US size 3, which is...
US size, right, so that's 3.25?
Maybe. I don't know my lower.
3.25, I think.
Versus...
Yeah.
Versus 5.5?
5.5, yeah.
That's incredible.
It was
that
ballsy.
It works for both. I love you,
like,
Carmen.
Carmen's
like,
I
do what I want.
I'm like, what's the worst that could happen is what I say. It's airier. It's an airier kind of feel.
I mean, if you can knit a lento, why not?
Right. This is what I was thinking. I'm like, you can't go wrong. I mean, if you can knit a ranunculus in any weight.
Yeah.
It's just, are you okay with having it? And as I say, like I can like see here, I would like change what I just don't want it to be this like kind of
to see underneath.
Yeah, I'd rather have it like, or maybe actually I've seen like if I did the tube.
Yeah, the cross, which looks really nice also.
I am really, okay, so I cast this on last Saturday night because I was like, I just need, I had done an itch.
Satisfaction knit,
and I was like, I needed this too because I'd seen this and I knew I loved this color. Like I love this color.
Like we literally were like, like we walked into the booth and just also took them all.
I know, but I still have 3 more skeins of it. Like I can knit, I can knit something at a reasonable gauge.
I mean, probably I knit it pretty tight. I think we probably could have like if we. Yeah. Somewhere between a 3 and a 9.
Yeah, but anyway, so Saturday night cast it on. Still knit a little bit of this on the Sunday. I think I still did like an inch or 2, or an inch maybe. And then I could not stop. I just could not stop. And so then it was done on Wednesday. That's how fast.
Ooh.
Just, and there's.
Ooh, I'm really tempted now.
Oh, you'd have this done.
Tori did a version of this in, I want to say the Sonder Fleece and Flax, which is the BFL linen with mohair, in like a punchy color, and so that's on my like queue of things that I would like to knit. And this is, I need to try it on now.
And it would be more filled out with mohair, right? Like it would be this gauge. It wouldn't be quite as like airy.
I like an airy knit though. It's interesting because this vanilla sport, it's 60% fin, 40% mohair. But it's funny how the mohair, like I feel like it doesn't create a halo.
No, it's not the same.
My God.
I know.
Oh.
I know.
Okay, this feels amazing.
It's so pretty. And it's just
so
light.
good.
It's like one of those, this is going to be one of those sweaters that I bring to Europe too. Like, so it, like, in a spring. Because you throw it on and it's giving you that little bit of warmth, but not so much.
It's like shawl vibes, but it stays on.
Yes.
Okay, I need to knit. This needs to go on.
It's so lovely. This hole is so
This
gorgeous.
Shoulder construction is my favorite shoulder construction. Like it's not a saddle. It's like a mini saddle with
the straight down.
Where it's like, I mean, I think on me it's just past the shoulder. But even bring it in like this is so. I love it.
Probably would be like I should look at my gauge. It's probably still not even. It was a bit. Mine's gonna be a bit bigger than it should.
Bigger than the.
Yeah.
This doesn't look like 16. This looks like.
Was it supposed to be 16? Yeah.
Love.
I love.
Isn't it so nice that we're working through our last year Rhinebeck
I know. I got
before
two
we
things
like
from last year.
I know. It's like some sort of psychology that I'm like, well, I mean, if Hannah were there, I would be showing up in this. But there is something very satisfying about feeling like, oh, I cleared the deck on what I bought at Rhinebeck last year.
It's
so I'm going in kind of like,
I was actually thinking, I'm really like deep diving into my stash because my like Spincycle, that's years. These two were these two long. Actually, my other one, nothing was new.
Yeah. I mean, I think I love having stash for color work. I also love the experience of like being really drawn to something at one time and then just like not, for whatever reason, it doesn't get on the needles.
Yeah.
But then like returning back to it and you're like, oh God, I really love this. And like now it gets to come into being. I find that like very poetic and romantic somehow.
Me too. And just having like, I loved how it all came together. Like I'm just in love with this sweater. This is the kind of sweater that I will wear all the time. And what I was talking about in terms of like, it's not necessarily, well, I mean, it does have focal points that people might stop, like looking at, but it's also just one of those sweaters that people might not notice it because it's just so elegant. It's Olivia Pope, right? Like, because it's just so.
It looks so good.
Beautiful.
And I feel like often when you have sort of like special yarn that's like this, special not in like a, it's like Banshee of Paradise kind of thing. I feel like sometimes the more simple designs actually allows the yarn to shine. Like I never would have thought about doing this, and now I want to do it because it feels so nice. Because this fabric is so nice. Good.
We're so lucky.
We are
that
so
there
lucky.
are people out here like farmers doing what they're doing, creating these things so that people like us that don't have any farming ability can experience this. We can share in the sheep.
Yes.
Thank you, all of you.
And that's one of the things, that I think the online space allows us access to that. I also think that it's definitely one of our favorite things about having the privilege to like go to a festival.
Yes.
Is to like meet the people and to be able to access these like smaller producers. So we go on and on in part in the hopes that you get to taste a little bit of it, and then you get to know these amazing women, these amazing producers also. To the best of our ability, like sharing the sharing with words, right?
Because like there's not really words to represent. Like when we were trying, just what does
it
this
dry?
feel like? I don't know. It's like something. It's just different. It's unique. Well, that's not going to help. But like trying to put words to things that don't have words to them because they have so much energy. But just it's almost like just trust that there is something different about it's. And I knit with knit picks. Great, there's no problem with that kind of wool as well, but there is something different about the feeling behind knitting something where you know that the sheep were just like having their time, like having a great life, and they're just going off and frolicking, and there's just a different feeling.
Yeah,
I feel connected to them somehow.
I often like this sort of started with like new to knit, but often what I would do is like when I was like trying to decide of all the beautiful colorways that Carolyn has like produced for this collection, like maybe I don't need all 6. I need to like make a decision about which one I want. I used to do this thing where I would just sort of like close my eyes and feel the colors as opposed to like letting my eyes do the eating.
Yes.
You know, and I feel like those choices have often been the choices that have led to those like talisman like knits. So despite our like somewhat questionable articulation of how this thing feels, like the invitation is like maybe you let yourself feel drawn to things with your eyes, and then also with like your non-visual senses.
Yes.
Right? Because I think that like pull of like there's just something special about it. Like that's
Trust
your heart
it.
talking.
Exactly.
That's your like deeper wisdom talking. So
yeah, and there does seem to be a difference. Like there's also a draw in a different way to other things that's visually just like you're just overwhelmed by the beauty of it, which is also.
I'm overwhelmed by the beauty of this.
I mean, this is I'm overwhelmed with it too.
Like, I really when I imagine this, like knitting this, like when I was like putting things in my stash, like I'm like, oh, this is gonna be reserved for when I was like kitting out of my own stash, like making a kit for my stash. I thought I would do this in like a punchy color. I was like, because she has one of her samples is in pink.
Carpe
like,
Diem and free spirit. It's Carpe Diem and
something else. But
if you make that, I will be like, what? Who are you? Although you do have that other one.
I love this pink color so much. So I thought that I would do like something poppy, but no.
It took 4 days. You can make, and that was me. You're a faster knitter than I am.
I wonder what colors.
Well, and that was the thing. I know. Oh, to make it in this one. But also, I mean, I want to make it in the Sonder version as well.
With the halo?
Because I can just, I look at that and it's going to be it's just going to have a different gauge and have a different drape. Pretty sure it's probably going to be a better fit on the shoulders the way she intended. Like it's a bit wider because I didn't follow, this is what happens if you don't follow gauge. It's not going to, like, it's wider than it should be. But I just love it as the way it goes that way in this version, because this is a version I want to be airy and just open. Throw over and feel like you kind of are just like draping yourself in a cloud for a little extra warmth, but not too much.
It's perfect.
It is perfect.
I also just like love how different, like wool is amazing.
It is.
It's like put it on a different needle, totally different experience.
Yeah.
I guess this is why people swatch, huh?
I guess. Although as we've said, as you know, I said earlier, even when you swatch, you don't know. What else do I want to show? Yeah, I still love this one too.
Okay. What do you have?
Do you have another?
All right. I have another one, but I feel like where I want to go doesn't make logical sense. Okay, I'm going to do it anyway. So, all right. So,
we don't make logical sense.
Well, I need some help. I need some help making decisions about what I'm going to knit for Rhinebeck.
Knit or finish? Have you started all of this?
Finish. Yes, finish. Okay. So.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's just a dog outside and there's no problem. There's no problem, Pizza.
Okay. So one of the possibilities that I really do want to get done is to finish this book club cardigan.
That one. Okay. I'll wait to see.
Okay, so this is option one. I feel like I need a styling friend, like that's gonna tell me like how I wear this.
It's gonna work with
everything. Okay.
Yes.
And then this one is like the most fall. I feel like this is like fall vibes.
Fall. This is a sheep and wool festival sweater. And you're literally gonna go and see the people who raise these.
So
sheep. It feels
really
hard to imagine
tempted
not doing that one.
To finish this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I have had this secret knit that I've been working on since like February that I didn't really plan to be my Rhinebeck sweater, but like is maybe one of the things that I'm like the most proud of making in terms of color that is not fall at all, but like maybe you can help me A, figure out how to fallify it, and B, there are like, or how to style it, because it's, the fit is kind of, I'm not sure what to do about the fit. And also I feel like it's going to be really challenging to finish. So, okay, so there's 3 options. So one option, actually there's 4. So this is option 1, is that I finish this, which I think could be doable. One of the, I love, so one of the people who's in that group is Marlene from Marlene Knits. And I appreciated it so much because she is knitting the frame sweater out of Handspun. And she was like, okay, for those of you who have finished it, can you please tell me how long it took you to finish it? Because Marlene's coming to Rhinebeck for the first time ever. And she's like, can I actually get the framed and this done? And I was like, I'm in the same boat as you, Marlene, and I don't know. And the person someone responded, it took me 40 days and I was working on it monogamously. And I was like,
this?
Yeah. It doesn't, I mean,
I can't imagine.
I can't imagine.
What's the gauge?
18, except mine is like really like 19, maybe closer to 20. In any case. Okay, so option 1 is to finish this. All right, we'll bring it back. Option 2 is to...
Is this the secret thing?
Is no.
Oh, no.
Is to try and finish the framed that doesn't look like the framed. This is my framed knitted in and my own handspun. Like,
no progress has been made.
No progress has been made. It's just not fall enough.
I don't think it's going to be this one.
No, right?
No.
Okay.
Not between the 2 of those.
So, thank you. That's what I was feeling. I also have pulled together colors for a full color work sweater.
From the Marie Wallen one?
Yeah. I have two possible
They're popping
color
up
work
everywhere,
things.
and I am going.
I really want.
Yeah.
So Gazelle, who's Sea of String, and her like knitting bestie Cheryl, who like they are style icons for me. Like whenever, like they often twin knit things, and whenever they knit stuff, I'm like, why have I not knit it? I don't understand. So Gazelle, is like casting off her like Seton sweater by Marie Wallen.
Who doesn't want that?
I have my which is a pattern from Marie Wallen's most recent publication called Erin, which makes me laugh, right? Because Marie Wallen, like I've always loved Marie Wallen, except the gauge on her stuff is like
so
29 to 36 stitches
so
per 4 inches.
Like, okay.
So Erin seems manageable, except
what is it, 24?
22. It's still 22. I'm like, ah. So I've picked out like a whole set of colors for a Seton sweater. And I'm like, can I finish a Seton in a month? I don't know. So that hasn't been started, is an option, but it's like my color palette is fall.
Of everyone you could do it. Like anyone I know, I would bet on you.
But then I also was in Scotland and went to the Scottish Yarn Festival. Thank you for those of you who like encouraged me to go, and I got to hug Amy Palco and go to Ginger Twist and meet Jess. It was like amazing. But I went there and was like, I need a color work sweater that is in like Scotland-ish colors.
Mm-hmm.
And so I happened to come across a sweater by Jennifer Beale, who's a Canadian knitwear designer who I feel like is like the Canadian Marie Wallen.
I know, I love her stuff.
And she posted this stunning sweater. Look at that. My God. And so
that might be a little tough in 4 weeks.
Yeah, but look.
You could do it.
Look at the palette that I put together.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Do you want me to hold anything? Yes. Oh, yes. Oh,
like,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like, I feel like this needs to happen.
It has to happen.
And I was like,
but it has more of a spring.
Again, I can't stay in fall, apparently.
Apparently not.
I can't do, but.
That is more spring-like. Maybe if you didn't have the yellow, it might go a little.
Well, so this is going to be the main color, which I feel like might autumn me a bit. I don't know. Like, I love this palette so much.
I mean,
this is
gorgeous.
A mix of Kinross 4-ply and this and this is from Ginger Twist. I'll put the colorway names if people are interested. But like, I can't get this color combo out of my head.
It's beautiful.
And so, you know, maybe I don't knit the Tiny Lock 11 by Jennifer Beal. Maybe I take this palette and
make the other one.
The Seton out of it or something
I
like
feel
that.
like this combo will work in the fall and definitely throughout the winter and into the spring.
Right? And it's fingering.
This will add too much.
Okay, gotcha.
That will make it
this is the one that is too springy.
I think it's just that. I think this one, you'll be happy. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. I love that.
So it's like, I kitted this for myself. I got everything that I needed for that Jennifer Beal sweater. Or I don't know. Or I think that I could actually get the Seton sweater in this if I held it double. Because it's fingering, right? Like I could get it to a 22, like it's possible.
Right.
So it's possible to do. So, okay, so many options. I finished the book club cardigan. I think we've crossed the framed off. It's not happening. I can't even show up because no one will know that I'm actually part of the knit along.
I think they will once you have the top part and you're with a bunch of other people with framed
maybe. I cast on some sort of color work thing, and I love this palette.
This is
so
really pretty. It's
like,
so pretty.
Much. And I also feel like it like is reminiscent of yours, even though it's not. It has a vibe.
And actually, what's funny is I'm sure we'll hang out with Lily from Curatorial Knits. I don't know why that's so hard to say sometimes. And I just feel like that's a Lily palette. Like she's gonna like have something very similar.
Okay. Or
it's a lot of knitting.
I know it's a lot of knitting.
Or what? Oh yeah, what's the February
the
thing?
one that I have been knitting since February. Which actually I'm so excited for. Where is it? Where in the giant pile of hidden things have I put it? Okay.
Oh wow. Oh, that's so beautiful.
So this is Whip.
Oh my god. Oh, well, you can have this one done. God, that's gorgeous. What is this?
This is the Astrid by Junko Okamoto.
This is what it normally is? Is this the original or you changed the... this is the
original.
same as this. This is
this
the pattern it would have been.
Yes. Do you want to stand up?
Isn't this convenient that I just happened to put that one on?
Well, that's why I was like, we need to pivot. I have one more FO, but maybe we won't show it. We'll just like... So this is that, and this is the same sweater, except I omitted the color work on that one whilst I was working on the color work for this one.
And did you add the cable or she has that one?
No, she has that. Okay, so I do love this.
Oh my god, Jackie.
Like,
why wouldn't you finish this?
Because I feel like it's not fall enough.
No, this one can go. This
one can go. Yeah. And I also, so there's a couple of things. Let me talk. This is like the most proud I've ever been about putting colors together.
It's so beautiful.
So this is knit in Sonder yarn.
All of it?
The main color, The main color is discontinued, but there's something that's really close. This is called Sanctuary, and it's in the Sunday Morning 4-ply was in the Ecru line. And then what I did is most of the color work is done in mohair. So I have First Light, held double. First Light, this purple is Delilah, there's white, there's Elemental, which is this navy, and then I used a little bit of, I had leftovers from my twig sweater in window shopping, which I could have done the mohair and glass, like there's a matching mohair. I just feel like the colors are so good.
They're so good. And they're so like unique. They're not what you would think to put together, but they work so beautifully.
And that's the thing that I was so pleased. This was in the phase of I think I bought like one skein of everything, and I was just like lining up.
Is that
it's Elemental?
That's Elemental. It looks so purple.
Yeah. So I'm so happy with the colors.
It's gorgeous.
It's really super wide. And I don't know why, I did not add stitches. Like this is all, but like it has done this like A-line thing.
It's, well, you don't add, oh, I'm not wearing it, but my other one, you don't add stitches for the sleeve, and it always goes out
Like
high.
it goes out a
why?
little bit.
I don't know how that happens.
I mean, I don't dislike it.
Yeah.
I love it, but I don't know how to style it. Like I don't know what to wear it with.
Because it's not cropped.
Because it's not cropped. This is only steam blocked. So I just, I'm like, I don't know about the fit, and I have to make a decision about sleeves.
What is the original sleeve? Is this the original?
No.
Because you didn't,
So
you made it tighter, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. So the original sweater has this big dramatic balloon sleeve.
Right.
Which is gorgeous, but I'm like, I don't know if I can do a balloon sleeve.
I feel like with this and your frame, it's already so big.
Like that's a good example of a beautiful balloon sleeve.
It's beautiful.
I can never find the sample. This beautiful human.
Oh my gosh.
Like it's so, like did a huge balloon sleeve, like long. Some people have done a cropped balloon sleeve. But I just don't know how to finish, like I don't know how to finish the arms. And there's the possibility, like, you know, I knit the twig sweater, y'all have seen this. And the twig sweater is equally wide and equally A-line, and I tapered in the sleeves.
I like this, I like the tapered sleeves.
And did the color work. I could very well do the same thing here, but there's something about it that my gut is saying, don't do color work, full color work sleeves. That's saying like do the rest of the sleeves in the one color, like in the pattern. But I have to make a decision about.
So the original, where's the original pattern? Like, so it should be just this color, just the main color in.
Yeah, this is not the pattern photo, but that's a good representation of what the pattern looks like. Ah!
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right, like the color work stops
I like
here,
that. I like that.
And then you keep doing the sleeve.
I feel like I don't think you want more busy. It's just, again,
it's so big.
Because you're small.
Yeah.
So like, I think.
But I don't know whether I want to, okay, so there's a couple of things. In this one, I modified it so that I made the cable part narrow, which I really like on this one.
Me too.
That cable sleeve near killed me.
That's right.
It's really beautiful, but like there was no rest rows and I couldn't read it.
Yes.
So like even though it looks like there should be a pattern, I'm like not only am I line by lining it, I'm like stitch by stitching it. And my brain just like couldn't get it. So right now the thought of doing that again, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I have it in me. But I don't know what to do about the sleeve. Like, do I do a full length sleeve? Do I do a quarter sleeve?
I don't think so. I kind of
do a quarter sleeve.
I just do, yeah.
Do I do it tight or do I do it balloony? See, I think for me, it makes more sense for it to be tight just because of my frame.
Yes, except, okay, so this one has the same, is it the same circumference here as here?
This is wider.
Okay. This one's wider.
This one's wider.
I think you should go balloony, I think, like larger.
When I look at it, I'm kind of like, okay, like, is it like one of those things where you just have to embrace that
just
it's
go
like...
with it. Just go with it.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
I think you just go with it. I mean, again, it sucks to rip out, but at least you're not going to be, you're not going to be doing the cables. You're just going to do balloon.
Well, I'm going to do some kind of texture. I just might have to make up the texture myself or like adjust. Like I think it needs to be textural. I don't think I can do a straight balloon. Like it needs to have some texture in it.
Why?
Oh, why? You think I could just do straight stockinette?
100%. Because it's so much happening.
That's the other thing is I was like, is it gonna get too busy?
It's not too busy. It's like that would also work, but it doesn't. I don't think it's necessary. I feel like one of those things you showed already. It didn't. Maybe I just couldn't see the cables, but it looked like the one that you said was a good representation of what the original was. Seemed like it was more just ballooned, like.
Like here's one that I love. Like this is kind of the one that I love. Again, it's not the pattern sample, but it's like a cropped balloon.
Yeah. And but there's cables in there?
There's cables in there.
Okay, you can't really see it. Like from here, I can't see it as being cables.
There you go.
So it's not, right. I mean, it's totally fine, but I also don't think it's needed.
Like I could do some kind of ribbing almost. Like maybe not the full cable, but to do
that would bring
like
it in though.
rib. I think I have enough. Like look at this armhole. I think if I ribbed, it would still be okay. In any case, I think I should finish this one for Rhinebeck. So those are the options. I mean, I'm really
okay, here's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Of the ones, okay, I actually think for Rhinebeck, personally, I think you should finish the book club.
The cardigan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because various reasons, like going and seeing and showing,
Yeah.
all of that stuff will be great. It's very Rhinebeck-y too.
Right.
There's still that, like, it would still be amazing, but it's not necessarily, like, if
It's
you
not
had that for
fall.
Christmas, but like, it could be Christmassy. You could make that a Christmassy sweater, like
Yeah.
our bauble sweater, right? It's possible to do that. It doesn't need to be Rhinebeck, I guess, is what I'm saying. The other one would be really great Rhinebeck. This one, like all of the Brie Wallen one, would be incredible. But that will be like a torturous, like, yeah, like stressful, like, oh. Or you're knitting on this one while you're at, you know, like you're doing what you can and finishing it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Although it might not be actually the easiest thing to be knitting when we're chatting with a bunch of other people.
Absolutely not.
That is my opinion, but we have a incredible community who probably has other ideas. It's really, really pretty. Super pretty.
Again, I feel like there have been a couple of trends that have blown through like the podcast community, like knit cardigans has been a trend.
Mm-hmm.
Like no more mohair
Oh.
Has been a trend.
The
I'm
opposite
like
of that.
all the mohair.
I'm like, give me
I
the
just
mohair, you're
want
not
the
using
mohair.
that.
And I want you to feel this because the fabric,
Yeah.
the fabric that
Put
this made is incredible. I also feel like I love color work. I knit a lot of it. I don't have great color work tension. Like I just, but I feel like mohair hides all sins. And again, fabric.
That's right, correct?
This way.
That'd be perfect.
Fabric. Incredible fabric.
Oh God, it's so light.
It's so light.
It's so pretty. It's so beautiful. See, it's cropped on me.
It's cropped on you. Oh my God, I love it.
I know, it's really pretty.
I love it.
I mean, ultimately, I know I'm going back. If you did do this one, you'd have it done so quickly. Like you have so little
like,
to do.
The book club cardigan is like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be scrambling to the finish on this.
Do you think so?
I think so. I think, friggin' it has the whole double knit button band. It has pockets. Like
I forgot the double knit
I think,
button. Oh,
like,
yeah.
like I know this sounds nuts, but when I think about doing like a Marie Wallen 22 stitch gauge, like holding fingering double,
That's
like
quicker,
this
quicker.
feels more attainable to me for whatever reason than finishing this. I don't know why. Like
Then, you know what? Maybe that's something to think about. Like that's your answer. Because I think in some ways this is such an obvious choice that the fact that I don't think it's the obvious choice for you, or it wouldn't have been a question. Does that make sense? Like I don't think you're feeling this for Rhinebeck, maybe?
Maybe. I mean, I would like both. I would like all three of them done by Rhinebeck.
Of all the people that I know, I feel like you could do it.
Thank you.
You could do it.
I can't do all three. Okay, what do you think, y'all? Should I finish this? Should I venture in a whole new cast on and show up maybe half finished on the hill?
Makes you the most excited as you're saying that? Which one makes you cut? Which one are you hoping people say?
This one.
Okay, I thought so. Do this.
This one.
Do it.
I am like, if I had chosen forest green, like it would be this one if it were fall leaning.
Instead of the coral?
No, instead of this like sagey green.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
see what you're saying.
if this were more fall colored, I would, without a doubt, 1,000,000% be doing this one.
How about this? This one, literally knowing you, you could finish on the road to Rhinebeck. Like,
if I did just stockinette.
Yeah, just arms.
Yeah.
So what if you go with this and you just go for it?
See where I get.
And like, if worst case scenario, you can't finish it, you just finish this and there you have it.
Okay.
Because it's not, this isn't it.
Yeah.
The book club, I mean, you're gonna do it, but it's just not the right one.
I'm gonna do it. I think it's like,
it's
God,
beautiful.
it's so beautiful.
Absolutely.
I think I can't, like, it's kind of like, this is the outfit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And like, this is the outfit. Well, and I'm like, what's the outfit?
Yes, you
This is why I
that.
sort of said, like, I need somebody to like style this thing for me so that I can feel excited about the outfit.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I get it. And I think actually between, like, if I look at this is so Jackie. It's so Jackie. I'm wearing this going, it's wearing me. It's not me.
Yeah.
But you, it works.
Thank you.
This is a no-brainer to me. Like a cabled sweater,
Yeah.
dunzo. Like everything, it would work with everything because that's what I wear.
I just had an outfit thought.
Uh-oh.
No, it can't happen.
You can't have all, there will always be a
knit skirt.
You don't have time for that.
Time for a knit skirt. These are really great problems to have. I would just like to say. And I'm so looking forward to what people think.
Yeah, me too. I like this idea. I think, I look at you, I look at the excitement, and this is what you want to do.
So excited.
Oh my God, it is so beautiful. So you're thinking you would do the longer, or no, you're going to do this in the...
I would do the Seton pullover with this color story.
Oh my God.
If it comes in time. My book is in the mail.
Oh.
So that's the other thing. You can't cast it on until it arrives.
Anybody in our area have it that can loan?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Like loan it to you while
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Ask one of my friends to like send me the first page.
Even the first page, exactly. Anybody? I feel like that.
I mean,
you've already bought it.
Yeah.
Like so, like that happened to me when I was knitting the tiny pebbles because I was in Amsterdam. I was in Netherlands, and I had the line at home.
Yeah.
But I was like, I really want to cast this on right now, and so then I was able to.
Yeah, I bought it, but it hasn't shipped yet. Like my ship notification has not. I haven't gotten my ship notification, so I'm like, probably it's gonna be like a week. Oh, I love these colors so much.
I think we'll see what our
Is
community
this more
says.
fall though? Like, I think it's really
not
questionable.
Extra more fall.
I feel like it's like it's basically like that with like hot pink instead of coral.
Yeah, when you pulled this one out, I was like, okay.
I'm not really helping myself.
I mean, especially I'm even looking at this, it's like,
This is like when you pulled out your first color story for your artist shawl and you realized that it was basically my twig sweater.
Yes.
Like I'm kind of having like, uh-oh.
You've redone yourself.
I've redone myself.
I feel like this is win-win because you are going to, I already know it, you're going to cast this on because that's just going to be fun and you're going to be all excited, and then we'll just see where you get with that, and this one you can finish in such a quick time.
I love how you say that.
You can't,
I feel
it's
like
just it's sleeves. That's such if you want. Mean, your arms are tiny. You just look at
the amount of time it took me to knit these sleeves. Oh my God, I feel I'm not doing these.
That.
Yeah, okay, cool.
See?
All right.
I have one more thing. Can you believe it? One more thing. So, this has been my Mestiha.
Love.
Mestia?
No idea.
Thea Coleman.
Love.
My first time knitting her. Okay. So I did this in Nutidin. OMGE. Look at that. Like it's not very easy to see, but you can see that beautiful. Thea Coleman is just like a queen of cables. I mean, speaking of cables, so this is me. I'm just a cable. I love cables. And this one, as I said, was the crosses, left and right crosses, as opposed to like cable.
Traditional cable.
Which I just loved. And it was the first time ever doing it. I don't know, every other time I've just switched it to a cable because I didn't feel like learning it, but hers was right there, like how to do it. And I'm like, well, that's not hard. Anyway. So if you remember, the last time I was finishing the sleeves, but I also had a question about the button band because it had this almost picot edge from the like way that the thing had worked. And we were considering, I'm like, is it going to be wide enough though? Blah, blah, blah.
Will it slide off your shoulders?
Wonderful Thea, like, watched our podcast and then commented and was like, I just, would suggest that it might not work if you leave it just as it is. It won't be fully finished. So she's like, you could put, you could do an I-cord bind off, or you could, these different options that she suggested. And I was like, oh my God, first of all, yay. First of all, I was like, thank you. Well, always thank you, Thea. And then I'm like, but maybe it'll be fine. So I blocked it and I put it on and I'm like, and it's not. It was falling right over. But and then I was like, okay, maybe I'll do the I-cord bind off. But then I was like, but I really love the picot. So I thought I would do a picot edge.
Carmen.
Yeah.
It's so, I'm looking at it, I'm like, is this what it looked like before? It's
Nope.
so beautiful.
So it came to here. So I just picked up, and Thea had said, pick up at least one line of stitches and then you would do your I-cord bind off from there, which, and a lot of tutorials actually said to just do it as you go, but that was such a smart idea to get the right number of stitches.
Yes.
I will put this on in a second and I think I might have to pull it because I think it's still a bit wider, but anyway, I was like, I'll just do a picot edge. So it's a double knit. I knit out here, do the picot. That's actually super, super easy. It's just a yarn over plus you knit two together all the way around. Then you knit the same length back and fold it.
Oh my God, you did
So
like
it's
a folded button band.
I don't think I did it wide enough, so I think I have to redo it is what I'm saying. But I'm very excited about it.
Carmen, you're a genius.
Well, I can take from somebody else's ideas and just be like,
oh.
I think, right?
Okay. How do you feel wearing it just like this?
Well, okay, so it's not blocked, my edging. So I just knit it and I just whip stitched it together. I bound off and then I just seamed.
Oh, and then you
switched, and that was
sewed
so
as a
easy,
double, as
opposed to trying to grab it under, you still had the live stitch. I found that easy. Anyway, I don't know, actually, I feel like I want to wear it a bit. I steamed it right before this and I feel like it's lying nicer. It's a bit, do you see it's a bit long?
Like the button band?
Yes, because of the picot, it kind of flares a little bit. I already didn't pick up as many as I would have in her pattern if I'd been doing the ribbing.
You mean the bottom part? The flaring? What are you talking
about?
Yeah,
do you see how here. It's kind of a little long? It almost feels like it's curving a little.
Yeah.
But do I care? Does that matter?
Do you like it unbuttoned?
Yes, I only want it unbuttoned.
Because when I look at it, I feel like the flaring would be solved if you put one clasp here.
Yes. I totally could do that.
Just one little, I almost not even a button, almost if you put a snap.
I could put a snap. I could also just put a shawl pin. Yeah, and just keep it together.
Because I feel like the way that it's sitting right now, it's gorgeous, but it's like it wants to come together.
It
I'm
does
looking
want
at
to come
it
together.
And it wants to come together.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure because if you were to rip this out, which you could, but it's perfection.
I know I did do it.
I don't know how ripping it out is going to resolve what the way that it's laying right now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Here, I'm sorry that it keeps losing the light.
It's so
It is really nice. I think I might just have it for a while and see if it's too annoying. My pressed flowers falls off my shoulder in a way I like. So this one is it's a bit wide, but I could do it a little bit thicker to make sure that it stays on even nicer. But I think I'm just gonna wear this for a bit. Yeah, stick a shawl pin in.
I love it. I love it with the idea of the shawl pin. I think it looks phenomenal. I think for me, that picot edge is so stunning. And I feel like the proportion of the picot is perfect. I think if you were to widen the button band and still do the picot, I don't know that it's gonna look as good. Cause I just feel like the proportion of the width, the size of the picot and the width of the button band and how it plays with this like vertical line. It plays with the cables.
Yes.
Like it's just so proportionate.
It is really
that
nice.
I wonder if you made it wider, like whether the picot would still look as good as it currently looks.
It's possible. I guess the other option is to like redo it, pick up less stitches so that it's a little bit, it's not quite as curving in. It'll fit it a little bit better because it's a little long.
The button band's a little long.
Yeah. But I think this is again one of these things that it's like, I'm never gonna look at that. Like I'm gonna be just wearing this.
I think that like, I think what I also love, Carmen, is like I do love, like you and I love an open cardigan. I love this line. I don't want to mess with it. It's such a pretty line. I don't want to mess with it. And that's why it's like, yes, is it, you know, a little wide up here, like a traditional cardigan is gonna sit like this, right?
Yes.
Which you're gonna achieve by widening the button band. But the line is so good.
The line is so good. And this is what I'm kind of looking for. It's like a shawl. Again, this is that idea of like a shawl that you're wearing just over your shoulders.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I'm leaving it for a while and then I'll think. But I think this like edging is so pretty.
The edging is genius. Like I wanted to knit this exact cardigan in Newton in like a rust orange.
Yes.
But I didn't love the, like, I didn't love it. I was actually like, okay, when Carmen finishes this, I'm gonna try it on. I'm gonna like get all the perfect measurements and then I'm gonna cast on. But I was gonna do that integrated, double knit.
When I said I could have done that, like I could rip it and do that.
But now I want the picot.
I do like the picot. It's really pretty.
It's really pretty. And I like the I love those kind of like juxtapositions where it's like a chunky cable sweater, but it has a picot.
It has a little picot cuteness. And also it's so
cute.
interesting, like it makes you really like appreciate designers so much, right? Because there's so many decisions you have to make. We just go and we do this in our patterns and know how many stitches to pick up. Like they have to keep doing this again and again, doing math, I know there's all of that on top of it. But even down to, I was like, okay, do I do it as stockinette? Like your picot could be stockinette, it could be garter, it could, like I started off with garter, going maybe I want that, but then I changed it. I was like, no, I think I want it as a stockinette going, because I have it that way and then this way, but there's so many options that you can do.
So genius. Like I'm looking at it now and I was thinking about my thought process of like doing a double knit or like a ribbed thing, and now I'm like, no, it wouldn't work because it would, like there's already this line
It would follow, but it would still work because it would follow that. So you would just
but I feel like it's
different...
actually nice to have it go this way, but I could do a folded. No, I want the picot now. Oh my God, it's so good.
Thank you. This has been a very long time coming, this Misty High. Like, cast it on. This was one of my whip downs where I'd cast it on last
Christmas?
Last
Even
Christmas? The
maybe
one
the
maybe
Christmas before.
I think it was the Christmas before.
Yes.
And then I just didn't pick it up and then did the whip down. And I was supposed to work on my Straya. And I went away and brought this with me. And then for some reason, I just couldn't put it down. Like, I was like, no, I'm starting on this. I need this. I need this. I love it. I love it. I'll just put a little pin in. It'll be great. We'll see. And if I don't want to change it, if I want to change it, I change it. As I sat down, I was like, I'm feeling the vibe. I'm feeling the vibe. And then it's like, oh, yes, there we go. This is what we need. Oh, need to do too.
Fair.
Oh, yes. Yay. Oh, my God.
Gosh, it's like two completely different kinds of sensory pleasure.
It really is.
Oh my God, Carmen!
I get to look at it. It's so pretty.
It's so pretty.
Oh, I really do love it. It's so pretty.
It's so pretty. I like actually how, like, for whatever reason, it feels more oversized on me, maybe because of the length.
Oh yeah, it is over, because also I'm just larger than you. Everything always looks like oversized, and it always looks tiny on me.
Perfect. See, I think like for me, I would love to do buttons. Like this just feels like the best grandpa cardigan, except with like really beautiful details.
Well, that, or I was thinking actually, I wasn't sure if the overlap. That was another reason I thought about making it a bit wider, because if it's for a button, it might be a little bit tiny, but. But you know the buttons where you clasp them inside. So like putting it here, the ones that sit there, and then there's a button.
Yeah, like a snap, right?
Snap,
like a snap where you don't actually, there's no visible button, but it like it's kind of like a shawl pin. Except.
Yes. The only problem I thought about it, and it wouldn't be a problem to do it if I did it in black, but is that you would see it.
Oh, if you
would have one button
open, yeah.
There.
But hence the shawl. I mean, hence the shawl pin.
I think a shawl pin because it's like a shawl.
Yeah. Or if you did like you can see the big they're like big safety pins.
Yes.
And you did like
the kilt pin.
Yeah, like a kilt pin, but you did it behind.
Yeah.
Where you were fastening like
this,
so that you don't actually see the kilt pin. Like the
pin
would go inside of your double.
Exactly.
Button. Sorry,
exactly.
I just like
I totally
felt
could do that.
Yeah. I love it.
I love it too. I'm really, really happy I finished this.
I cast on something in this colorway, but as I have been knitting it, I'm like, I don't know if I have enough in order to finish.
Oh yes, I have extra.
But oh no!
Oh, I do love it, and it
just feels so good.
Like just the way everything is so thought out.
Yeah.
Like you've got this extra bit. I mean, honestly, I got the wool for. I'm gonna make that Sayoko. Her like minty, that pistachio like one. I bought the wool. I just need to cast it on. But I will knit a million of her patterns.
I like if you go on my Ravelry, like I my whole queue is Thea Holman.
I know. I know. But for some reason, this is the first one I've knit. I don't know how that. Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Where is her? Is this the one that you're talking about? Because people are gonna ask. So
that's true. That's it.
This is the lacy pistachio. Oh my god! It also is so you.
It's a confection. I think she even said of cables like that, because you're like, oh my god, a cable sweater is daunting. Like to me, that is just an absolute dream. Let me just have that changing and the different charts and keep me occupied, but also with my rest rows. There's probably like 4, I would guess at least 4. What's it called? For 3 rest rows per cross.
See, I feel like, again, now I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, could I knit this in like a rust?
This is the problem. There's always a million things you can make. Like I have so many things. It's why I haven't even been able to spin. Like because I'm like, I want to spin. I've got these beautiful things from Melly Knits. Oh my god. Her like subscription, like oh my god, incredible stuff. I just want to spin, and then I'm like, but I can't. If I do that, then I can't knit, and I gotta like get this,
I feel like for me, like there's been a lot of spinning, like more, like my ratio of knitting to spinning. I feel like spinning has like increased a lot. Like I've been spending a lot of time. I feel like spinning is the thing that I do when I have knitting indecision.
Oh, that makes sense.
And like the knitting indecision is not, it is like, it's the paralysis of like, there are so many things that I want to cast on and I don't know, like I can't make choices around what to cast on when first.
I know.
Etc.
I know.
So then I'm like, well, I'll just spin then because,
in this exact moment, I don't know what to knit, so I will spin.
Yeah, like you cast on a sweater, I'm like, let me go to my wheel.
Yes. And it's true. This is, I cast on that other one, the Mindful Folk one, the Metropolitan Pullover. That was an absolute palate cleanser. I was like, I just need some. Funny me, I'm like, I need some stockinette. I just want some stockinette with some interest.
I know.
And a really large gate.
I like that we have our ebbs and flows around this. Like, I think this is the first time that I have not had a stockinette. Like, I don't.
Yes.
I don't have a stockinette project right now. I mean, I do, but like they're not active.
Yes.
Like there has been no active stockinette things. I have 2 more things, but I probably don't need to show them.
They'll get shown.
They'll get shown eventually.
Do we want to talk about Rhinebeck?
Oh yes. Okay, so this is our pre-Rhinebeck episode. So our plan is to podcast maybe from Rhinebeck, like we talked about doing it. We decided to extend our stay.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's the possibility that we will be absolutely bleary-eyed and without voices podcasting on like Sunday night after the 3 days. But for those of you who are attending New York Sheep and Wool, please come and say hi. Please come find us. We like
best part of it.
It's the best part of it for us is those in
you,
real life conversations.
Knits, like getting that like just sharing
hugs
joy
and petting and like things.
You must come feel these things that Jackie has made. It's a PSA.
I was like, it's funny. I was like, okay, as I was thinking about Rhinebeck outfits, I'm like, okay, well, I don't really know what I'm wearing at Rhinebeck, but what I know I have to do at Rhinebeck is wear like something where I can take things off so that you can try things on, because that was super fun last year. And I think one of the days I like was not wearing something underneath. And I was like, I would like to give this to you to try on, but that would leave me topless in the crowd, which I feel like is not okay.
Might not be the best.
Find an underlayer. So yeah, come and find us. We will be at the Woolen Affair on Friday. We will be at the Woolen Affair during the daytime at the Sonder Yarn booth with our favorite Melissa.
We get to do it again.
Thanks,
so
Melissa.
It's the most fun.
I think we left Knit City being like, Melissa, like when can we do this again?
Please let us do this again. Please, begging.
Yeah, just please.
So much fun.
So much fun to get to
know you guys even better. Exactly. Like it's just the most ideal situation because we get to see you with yarn with a million perfect colors.
Dream knitting, amazing. So if you're gonna be at the Woolen Affair, that's where we'll be. We also will be at the like evening portion.
Yep.
The evening event at the Woolen Affair evening event. And then we'll be at New York Sheep and Wool on Saturday. And our plan is to show up at on the hill for Andrea Mowry's framed thing, even though neither of us are there.
Not have a framed.
We're gonna be there to like watch and see the framed fun, and hopefully meet some of you. So that's
so
where
if you're
we'll
around
be on Saturday.
Just come by, say hi.
Please come say hi. Please come give us a hug.
Know
it's
that
our favorite thing,
guys. Both of my dogs are jumping up. They're like, "What can we come? What's happening here?" Hi guys. I know that like sometimes I'll see, like when you see people like that you might know, and then you're like, oh, I don't know if they would want me to like come up and just be like, hi. Like we definitely
we're those people.
Or like we do that with others, and we would love to. We just want to come talk. We just want to talk to you. So please,
come and see us if you see us.
Anywhere,
whether it's like anywhere
or
like
any place.
We would love to spend some time with you, and we're so excited to see some of you again and meet some of you anew, and just be in the like knitty vibes energy, and hope to be able to bring some of that back to you as well in terms of stash haul and other things. So
yes.
Thank you for hanging out with us. Oh my god,
I know.
I'm like, now I should show the FOs, but I won't.
Well, I was gonna say you certainly could if you want to. We're only at 241. But
okay, I'm gonna show one more.
Okay.
I'm gonna show one more. Mostly because it actually does relate.
Go. What are you doing on there? He was lying on her sweater.
Yes, he does.
He loves it. You're a good boy. Do you have to go outside too? Why don't you go outside?
Oh no, I can't. I didn't even bring it. Never mind.
Come on, baby. Just go outside. Honey, go outside right now. Hey. Ignoring. Okay, forget it.
Just kidding.
Forget it then.
I had just cast off something that had that mini saddle shoulder that I wanted to show, but I didn't bring it. So
that's for next time.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you for all the like feedback that I know is coming, that is gonna help me make decisions and help inspire our needles, help Carmen to get this beauty on her body.
Timing. It's just the time of it. There's literally nothing. The actual, to be clear, there are some stitches where you're like, this is a really annoying thing to knit. I don't like knitting it. I like knitting this. I like that it changes every round. I like that interest. I love the color changing fun and seeing that whole thing happen. All of that. It's just that it takes a long time. You just don't seem to be, it's like I keep measuring it and it's still 8 inches over and over. And I'm like, but I've been knitting. How is there, this is when I have to use the stitch marker, the like progress keeper. Because just to tell myself I'm actually making progress, because it doesn't seem to be moving. But I'm going to steam it. That will make it. We're going to steam it right now and it'll be good. It is good and I can't wait for it to be done. I will, and be put on my body. You're like, what are you even talking about? I don't know. Words are coming out.
Sometimes Carmen's flips into French, which I don't speak, which is funny. I mean, I speak as much as I speak as like a Canadian who has had it like here and there. And so like there are some conversational phrases that I know. But that moment right there, I'm like, I had a moment where I'm like, have you gone in French? Or
French? Like, I wish I could say I was speaking French, I just wasn't speaking English very correctly.
Like, you were speaking English. There was just something very interesting about the phrasing.
I think I said something very
I can't wait to go back and watch this part. I love you.
There was a moment there, I will say, that, you know, when you're talking and you're not really quite there, I wasn't really quite there. Speaking there, so it's really good that you called me out on this. I can clarify. Yeah, I'm not even sure what I was saying. It was just words.
What were you saying? I don't
Words were coming out of my mouth.
It's not like either of us are particularly seamlessly articulate, but normally I'm following.
Yeah.
You know?
This one was. What?
Huh?
Well, I also didn't really know. It's
okay. I'd love to hear what you are knitting. Like, do you have the like cast on fever? What's going on in your world?
Fall time, right? That exciting like sweater weather.
Please add to the list of patterns of things that we want to knit, but have so many.
Send hands if you could, because I could use an extra few pairs of hands.
I'm also so acutely aware that I currently have a list of like, well, we already went through like 5 of the things that I want to knit, and then there's also like so many on deck, and I'm also so acutely aware that the moment we hit New York sheep and wool, like it's gonna clear the deck because I'm gonna see things, and that you're gonna send things, and I'm gonna be like, oh my god.
I know, it's true. And I was feeling a little bit of that, like, I don't know what it's called, like almost like not as urgency, but like, what am I doing next? There's so many patterns, so many quantities of wool, like meant to be certain things, and I had to like start actually the queue again, but I couldn't really do it's like I start the queue, but then I don't really look at the queue and I don't follow it, but I needed some kind of containment.
I think like for me, the queue and the list is just so that it can stop swimming around in my brain. It's like I'm parking them, and I'm really aware that like I've parked all of them, like I've kitted up a bunch of things, and that I'm probably not going to actually use the kit or do the kit, but like otherwise it's just like nebulously swimming around in my brain. There is actually that psychology concept around 100%. Like anxiety of like
it does help
if you like, or if you make the list, you will be less anxious about it.
It's like the shopping, you know, like if you make a grocery list when you go grocery shopping, if you don't have a list, you go eggs, milk, bread, you know, like and you have to keep saying it again and again. But if you don't do that and you have it on the list, you don't even say it. You just go, oh. What was I just about to say? Oh, I was laughing about the kit. We were having a discussion, Melly and Jackie and I were having a discussion about, and we've mentioned this on the podcast, like how like addicted to kits I am, and I can't help myself, and I don't knit them, but I like can't stop buying them.
Yes.
And so I have a kit sitting like that I just got Sonder Yarn's, the new Natasha Hornby shawl, the one that looks like a quilt.
Oh yeah, oh god, it's so good.
And Melissa has it, and like the colors are so perfect, like they're like the original colors.
Yeah.
And it's sitting there in its plastic bag, sitting right on my table, laughing at me. It's sitting right, looking at me, going, "You gonna do it? You gonna do it?" And I keep laughing. I would like to though. I think I will.
It's so good.
Apparently it's modular, so it's pieces of knitting. Like I like that idea, and I think it's garter. I think a lot.
It's so beautiful.
It's so pretty.
It's ridiculously beautiful. Why can't I find
it? It's recent. Oh, you went to Sonder. You could probably find it. Here we go.
Oh, come on. This one? Did you get this one?
That. Yeah. Like, I can't wait for
Like,
this.
come on.
I cannot wait for that.
Okay, you know what I can't wait for that I will absolutely not knit, but I like to pretend that I'm gonna knit it? Mm-hmm. Remember my artist shawl that I started and then never finished knitting?
That's right.
She made a freaking cardigan. It's the artist, but the cardigan with the shawl collar. Like, this is like, I want it. I will not do it since I couldn't even do the shawl. But like, look at it.
It is so beautiful.
Oh, it's so good.
There's so much to knit.
So much to knit. So let us know what you're knitting.
Yes.
Tag us in your knitting, please.
Yes, please.
So that we can vicariously knit through you.
Somebody, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on your name, but it was that blue sweater. She bought it, and she got it because I remember you coming in at Knit City, and it's that blue and Sonder. Anyway, she just finished this gorgeous sweater in it, and I just wanted it so much, and I had a moment of vicarious knitting, like that I felt like I'd already knit it. Like, I didn't knit it, it's not mine, but I had that feeling like it was mine.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You?
Can I find it?
Ronnie Citron. Yeah. It's recent. It'll probably there. Ha! Come on.
This blue.
Come on. It's like Paul Clay blue, in a way. I think.
I love that blue. I love that blue. I want
Is
something.
it Paul Clay? No, not Paul Clay. What's the one?
I could do the I could do the Metropolitan. It actually reminds me of it's not quite, but it reminds me of Matisse.
It does. But there's an artist, and I'm blanking on the name. It's not Clay, is it? It's Klein. Klein blue. That's what it reminds me of.
It reminds me of Matisse prints, even though the Matisse prints are a little slatier, but like just that like those Matisse prints that are like blue on like white or like gray that are
totally
like,
know what you mean.
You know?
It's just really like, I want you. Yes, I do. I want a sweater, okay?
I know I want to do the Metropolitan pullover in that blue, or oh my god,
you know what? So good.
The hasn't released yet, but I'm like chomping at the bit.
Well, and also, yes. I was thinking the same thing. Plus, I wanted to cast on Melissa's new double mohair sweater.
Yeah, the rentrée.
Yes.
So Midori Hirose. No.
Was that? Yeah.
No, it's not Midori. Hiromi of Play Needleworks. She like okay.
Oh my god, like a perfect.
This Sunday brunch sweater.
Come on.
Like, man, color makes such a huge difference because, I mean, I loved it. I was like, ooh, good staple, like raglan, like really nice V-neck. Gorgeous on her. But then, dear Melissa,
it got sondered.
How about we sonder it and do it in this green?
It up.
And I was like,
even better.
Oh, shoot. I actually never buy kits. Like, it's funny, I don't buy kits. I like make kits for myself. Like, I often buy with things in mind.
Yes.
So, like, in my head, I'm like, can I kit for that out of my stash?
You 100% could. 100%.
Isn't that blue?
But you wouldn't have that blue in this
Isn't
style.
that blue? Yes. I don't have to buy it.
You would never,
I'd
that's
never
not
bought
you.
that blue.
But that's the new you. I feel like you're moving into this real color place.
That blue was like, I don't know, 12 years ago.
Your fave?
My fave.
Yeah.
I had like blouses in it, and I had this like great cardigan in it, and I had this like really great mini skirt, pencil skirt in that blue that I just wore with like, when I used to wear heels and skirts and, you know, didn't wear yoga clothes to work every day.
Can I say, so we had, because now this is the chatting part. Apparently we won't allow this not to be 3 hours.
No.
So I had, my son had his bar mitzvah on the weekend. And it went great. It was so much fun. But I was wearing heels for the first time, and I've started this like workout thing, this bar workout, because I just need a break from yoga every day. I don't know why. This is what I do. I just need something new. So I'm doing this. Anyway, so I had been doing this like workout the day before, and then I'm in heels and we have to stand, and I didn't realize like my legs were fatiguing. The muscles were like shaking because it was up on it was just up on my toes.
And also bar, you're up on your toes a lot.
This is it.
Yeah.
I was like, and there was an exercise band involved, which I hadn't been, anyway. I was just laughing going, are my legs gonna like stay? Are they gonna continue to hold me up? And then I'm like, this is why I don't do any heels.
I mean, as a small person, I have I've like logged a lot of hours in heels. I mean, one, I think they look great. Two, I also do feel like I feel powerful in heels. It's like a thing. Because I'm like 1 foot taller than I am, like seeing the world from a whole new vantage point. But there would often, like, I would call it wobbly giraffe time, where like you just get to a point where you're like, oh dang, like
yes,
I know I'm not moving, but it feels like I used to have the sensation that like, am I about to slide out the front? Like, you know, like obviously I mean like maybe in sandals I've done it, but like you're not really gonna, but like I'm just like, oh it just feels like you're not moving, but you might just like flip.
Yes, it was I was adjusting to kind of let my like one leg
kind of break.
Yeah, and then it was like, okay, that worked because I just like alternated.
Yeah. Or the feeling of like when we were in Scotland, man, they don't mess around in hiking in Scotland.
No, it's
like
real.
It's for real. Like I'm like, man, there's like easy, medium, challenging in North America, and then there's like easy, medium, challenging in Scotland, and like in any case, so we were doing a lot of like incline declines, and that's the feeling, right? For those of you who've never worn heels before, the feeling is like when you're like on a like,
it's the decline,
like a decline, and you're like, I don't know, like I know my body has been standing for my entire life, but like I don't know that it's gonna stay.
No, skiing's like that. It's like I don't know if I'm gonna have the leg strength to turn the next turn. Like I actually, and that's the only thing slowing me down. Like, you know, like where you're like, I don't know if my legs can actually do what they need to do. I have to take a break.
Well, I think starting bar and then wearing heels is like a deadly combo.
It was a really ridiculous thing.
Because I remember there was a period where I was doing a lot of bar, and like bar makes you realize that there are like all these muscles that you don't use unless you like
try to use
run
them
in high heels or something.
Right.
Like I don't know, like there are all these like little tiny muscles.
Yes. And I wasn't even wearing heels. I was wearing heels this big. They weren't even. But I was trying to get away with you wearing my Uggs. Like I really tried to get away with wearing these. And then it was like, no, I can't. So I put like heels on, and then I was very much regretting it.
Yeah.
There you go.
I like, oh my gosh, I'm just like having a moment where I realize that like, I don't wear shoes to work because of the work that I do.
Right. That's right.
Like
That's
I was
nice. Yeah, you're like, what do I wear?
What do I wear?
I wear these all the time
shoes.
to work.
Like,
yeah, I'm wearing these Uggs all the time. I have it in a brown. They're working with all my outfits, at least according to me. I even talked to some clients and they're like, you wear it. It looks great. I'm like, thanks. I just want to be comfortable.
Man, if I'm comfortable, I'm better able to pay attention to you. If I think that I'm going to slide down the hill while I'm talking to you.
Exactly. Or I'm like, my toes are
tell me about your problems.
It's just better. It's just better for everyone.
I have this like theory. This is such a tangent. I'm like, what would the world be like if we were always comfortable?
We would find other ways to be uncomfortable.
Okay, fair. But like, I'm convinced that if we all had the ability to be comfortable in our bodies all of the time, the world would be such a wonderful place.
Oh, yes.
Like, I think about in my former career how often I was uncomfortable in my body working.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm not as good a person.
Like, I agree. Absolutely.
Like,
but
where are those Uggs? You know, like,
true.
That's what I mean. Like,
but you know, this is the world of the relative. So we can only feel the Uggs if we put on the heels.
The heels.
And then I couldn't. So those hours I was in those tiny, stupid heels, my feet, because I had to do a lot of walking, you know, like a lot of stuff after we had the, you know, lunch and all of this and then cleaning up. And I had to drive home with the kids. And I wore my son's shoes.
To drive home?
Once I got in the car, I'm like, I actually cannot spend 20 more minutes with these heels on. Like I need, and then, you know, you put it on and you're just like, oh, like that
Heaven.
negative reinforcement, right? Where something awful has been taken away and you're just like, oh, I'm just so happy.
So every morning before you go to work,
yes, put those
you're gonna put the
on.
heels, and then you're gonna put your Uggs on,
right.
and you'll do like,
And I'd be like, yes.
I don't know, you'll like, at least when I leave the house, there's a 5-minute run around of like, where is this? Where is that? You could do your 5-minute run around in heels, and then you can put your Uggs on.
Oh, I love it. Okay, done. And then I'll just be so appreciative that I don't have to wear heels. And I will feel for all of you who have to wear it, because sometimes we have to wear heels.
And sometimes I feel good at, like, there's a moment for heels, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
There's absolutely a moment
It
for
was
heels.
not an option. It wasn't like I couldn't have worn my Uggs.
Yeah.
But it wasn't an option in terms of like what I wanted to
Yeah, you
like.
felt happy in them.
Yeah, I needed to wear, but I really liked putting them on after.
That's how I feel. That's how I now feel about knits. It's like, if it's not perfectly comfortable,
Yes.
not wearing it.
No. Mm-mm.
Like, I have this gorgeous, gorgeous cardigan that I knit out of like a farm yarn version of Pullover. I love it so much, but I just
sticky.
cannot.
No.
Like, it has this beautiful like high shawl collar, and like I can wear it. I'll wear it if it's like super cold and I have a turtleneck on, then it's fine.
Right.
But I'm like, man, life is too short for me to wear this with a tank top.
No, it's not worth it.
Even though I love it.
I know. For me, it's the if there's ever sleeves that have the opening, like a lace sleeve, but like a crochet, like I can think of one I gave away. Did I even give it away? Did Janet take it? Anyway, if the sleeves have holes in them, I'm too cold wearing it. It makes me uncomfortable because it's not
the right temperature regulation.
It's wrong. And I'm warm enough, but I'm not. I'm cold. I'm colder wearing the sleeve like that than having no sleeve.
Yes.
I don't know how that works.
No, it's the hot cold situation.
It really
it's
is
like
so
this
awful
part
that I
is
hate
so
it.
hot, and then this part is
Can't.
like a little bit hot but cold. I also feel like I realized, because I've been like traveling a lot in the past month, like humidity is the enemy of wool.
Oh, it is. That's when you want prickle. That's when you get prickle.
Humidity is the enemy of wool, and I feel like because we live in Ontario and we basically are in like high humidity or it's frozen.
Yes.
Like I can't do those lacy arm situation things because humidity is the enemy of wool. And so it's like, this is happy, but like this is like
not happy.
Like hot but cold. Oh man.
No, I don't like it.
Even though it looks so pretty.
I know.
Okay, we've broken 3 hours.
Should we let them go?
I think so. I wonder how many people have already turned us off.
Oh my God,
Like
probably.
so many people.
Probably. The funny thing is, we're just gonna like continue this conversation. Like we're gonna stop this and be like, yeah. Thank you guys.
Thanks for hanging out.
Wonderful.
We're so excited to be with you in the comments and in our tags and maybe in real life.
For some of you.
We love you so much.
Love you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.